The demon general's severed head is still burning when the hero's party decides to throw one of its own members into the corpse pit. Meet Corvin Vale, the exhausted grave attendant kneeling in a lake of black blood while 4 celebrated heroes divide the rewards behind his back. He has carried their supplies, sealed their wounds, purified their camps, and buried every monster they left rotting across the Covenant continent. Tonight, apparently, that is still not enough. See, 3 years ago, the Sun Basilica selects Garen Holt as the prophesied hero and grants him the right to assemble a sacred party. Every kingdom opens its treasury. Every fortress lowers its gates. Not a single noble dares refuse him. Corvin joins as the 5th member not because the Basilica values him, but because someone has to handle the dead. His class is Grave Warden, a miserable support profession that can sense lingering souls, suppress corpse curses, and stop slain demons from exploding after death. It sounds unimpressive. It also keeps the entire party alive. Garen never mentions that part. The hero stands beside the fallen demon general, with one golden boot planted on her shattered breastplate. His sacred sword still shines with enough divine power to blind an ordinary soldier. Around him, the underground cathedral collapses piece by piece. Massive stone ribs break from the ceiling. Purple fire runs through the cracks. Thousands of demonic corpses cover the floor like a completely savage carpet. The battle is over. The betrayal is just beginning. Cut out the heart. Garen orders. Corvin raises his head. The demon general's body lies 3 steps away. Her name is Marith Vaughn, commander of the Ashhorn Legion and guardian of the 7th Infernal Gate. One horn is broken. Her left arm is missing. A silver spear pins her torso to the altar, yet the dark veins beneath her skin still pulse. She is not fully dead, Corvin says. Brannock Grieve laughs. The Imperial Lancer twists his spear deeper into Marith's chest. Black blood spills across the altar. Then she can watch us take it. Corvin does not move. That alone makes Garen's smile disappear. The hero is used to obedience. Kings obey him. Generals obey him. Entire cities kneel when his white cloak appears on the horizon. A corpse handler refusing a command is almost too ridiculous for him to process. Iselle Vane steps around the altar. The party's saint wears immaculate white robes despite the mountain of gore around her. A halo of 6 glass petals floats behind her head. Each petal stores enough healing power to restore a severed limb. She has never spent one on Corvin. The heart contains an infernal authority, she says. The Basilica will reward us beyond measure. The Basilica forbids harvesting a living demon's core, Corvin replies. Othmar Pell closes the cathedral doors with a flick of his fingers. The contract mage is thin, pale, and permanently smiling. Chains of blue scripture spread over the stone. Every exit locks at once. Good thing the Basilica only hears what its hero reports. There it is. Not greed hidden behind duty. Not some tragic misunderstanding. Just 4 powerful people deciding the rules no longer apply to them. Honestly, this is where it gets brutal. Corvin looks at each member of the party. Garen has already prepared an official mission record. Iselle holds a confession seal. Brannock blocks the altar steps. Othmar controls every escape route. They plan this before the battle. Our grave attendant quietly recalculates the room. His mana is nearly empty. 2 ribs are cracked. His right hand has lost feeling after suppressing the demon general's death curse. The others are wounded too, but Iselle still possesses 4 healing petals. A direct fight ends badly. Corvin knows it. More importantly, they know it. Garen kicks Marith's severed head toward him. The burning skull rolls through the blood and stops against his knee. Clean that up, the hero says. It is the last useful thing you will ever do for this party. Corvin wipes black blood from his cheek. Last, Iselle produces a scroll bearing 5 golden names. 4 remain untouched. Corvin's name has already been crossed out. Turns out, the party's victory contract divides future rewards according to active membership at the moment a demon core is registered. Remove the 5th member now, and the others gain his share. Talk about sacred heroes. They are committing murder over accounting. You have become a liability, Iselle says. Her voice stays soft. That makes it worse. You hesitate around wounded demons. You question Garen's commands. You preserve corpses when valuable materials could be extracted. Corvin looks at Marith. The demon general's remaining eye is barely open. She hears every word. Her fingers twitch against the altar. Not toward a weapon, toward the bodies of her dead soldiers. The motion is small. The meaning is painfully clear. She wants them protected from desecration. Corvin has seen humans make the same gesture over fallen comrades. The saint sees only resources. Your Grave Warden class is a servant's class, Iselle continues. Be grateful the hero allowed you to stand near real chosen ones. Brannock rips the silver spear from Marith's chest. The demon general's body jerks. Stand near us, he says. He belongs behind us, carrying the things that matter. Othmar taps the locked doors. Blue contracts crawl across Corvin's shadow. Technically, he belongs nowhere. No guild will hire a man dismissed by the hero. Garen crouches in front of him. The hero's smile returns. Listen carefully, corpse boy. Without this party, your name has no value. Your class has no value. Even your life has no value. Corvin remembers every word. He does not glare. He does not shout. The smile never reaches his eyes, but his face remains completely calm. That calm bothers Garen more than anger would. The hero grabs him by the collar. Say something. Corvin studies the divine sword at Garen's hip. A thin fracture runs along the golden guard. The weapon absorbs demonic essence after every kill. Tonight, it absorbed too much. Useful. Then our guy looks at Isel's halo. 2 glass petals flicker unevenly. Her healing formation is overloaded. Also useful. Brannick favors his right leg. Othmar's contract chains avoid touching Marith's blood. Very useful. Corvin has spent 3 years cleaning their equipment. He knows exactly how each of them breaks. He simply lacks the power to do it. For now. You already wrote the report, he says. What cause of death did you choose? Othmar's smile widens. Corruption. Blue scripture coils around Corvin's wrist. The words burn directly into his skin. Grave Warden Corvin Vale displays sympathy toward a demon commander. Grave Warden Corvin Vale obstructs the recovery of a sacred war asset. Grave Warden Corvin Vale succumbs to infernal influence. The contract does not describe reality. It manufactures one. Once the seal reaches the basilica, every holy knight on the continent will hunt him. Garen releases his collar. Corruption is a merciful explanation. The truth is simply embarrassing. Brannick grabs Corvin from behind. The lancer forces both of his arms against his back. Fresh pain tears through the cracked ribs. Isel places 2 fingers against his chest. For one brief second, warm healing light enters his body. Then the saint smiles and pulls it back out. The half-formed restoration collapses. His wounds rip open twice as badly. You were never one of us, she whispers. You were a shovel that learned to speak. That sentence lands harder than Brannick's fist. Not because it hurts, because Isel clearly believes it. Corvin lowers his head. The others mistake the movement for defeat. In reality, he watches the streams of blood running beneath the altar. Human blood glows red. Demon blood burns violet. Both streams spiral toward an ancient symbol carved into the floor. The symbol has been hidden under centuries of ash. The battle exposes it. The hero's party never notices. Grave Wardens notice graves, and this entire cathedral is one. Othmar opens the pit behind the altar. A circular section of stone pulls apart. Cold darkness yawns beneath it. The smell rises first. Rotten incense, old iron, something impossibly ancient. This is not a burial chamber for ordinary soldiers. The walls are made from fused demon horns. Thousands of names have been scratched into the shaft. Some are written in human script. Others belong to languages erased before the First Kingdom existed. Garen glances down once. Then he loses interest. Throw him in. Brannick drags Corvin toward the edge. Our grave attendant allows it. His boots scrape through Marith's blood. His heel crosses the hidden symbol. The carved lines absorb a single red drop from his wounds. Nothing happens. Then a violet drop from Marith's body joins it. The symbol pulses. Corvin feels the vibration through the floor. 1 beat, 2 beats, a third. Something beneath the cathedral wakes up. The necrotic pressure is absolutely massive, yet only Corvin reacts. His class senses it. The others remain blind. Interesting. Marith's remaining eye turns toward him. She feels it too. Brannick drives a knee into Corvin's back. Any final request, corpse boy? Corvin looks over his shoulder. Do not damage my pack. The lancer blinks. Then he bursts out laughing. Still worried about luggage. Brannick throws the pack into the pit first. Corvin watches it vanish into the darkness. Inside are 3 bone needles, a coil of silver burial thread, 7 empty soul jars, a jar of grave salt, his field knife, and every written copy of the party's falsified casualty records. The records matter. That is why Corvin asked. Brannick assumes the opposite. Perfect. Garen places his hand on Corvin's chest. Golden light gathers in his palm. The hero wants the fall to look convincing. A simple push leaves doubt. A blast leaves evidence of corruption. Remember this, Garen says. Heroes decide which dead are worth remembering. Corvin meets his eyes. He says nothing. Garen fires. Divine force explodes across his chest. The impact hurls him into the pit. Stone disappears above. Darkness swallows everything. Corvin falls past layers of ancient bones. Some belong to demons. Some belong to humans. Some are far too large to belong to either. He strikes the wall once. A broken horn tears across his shoulder. Then he hits a slope of armor and slides deeper. His cracked ribs finally break. Blood fills his mouth. The golden contract around his wrist tightens. It senses death approaching. Above, the hero's party becomes smaller. Giselle looks down without emotion. Brannock waves. Othmar closes the pit. Garen is the last thing Corvin sees. Then the stone seals shut. Absolute darkness. The fall continues. Corvin reaches for the burial thread inside his sleeve. His numb fingers miss it. He crashes into a pile of skulls. The impact drives the air from his lungs. His body rolls twice and stops against something warm. Warm should be impossible down here. He opens his eyes. Purple embers drift through the chamber. They reveal rows of kneeling corpses, hundreds of them. Demons in rusted armor face a circular platform. Every skull is bowed. Every weapon points downward. At the center hangs a black bell. It has no rope. It has no clapper. It rings anyway. The sound never reaches his ears. It strikes directly against his soul. Corvin's Grave Warden class reacts at once. A system alert flashes across his vision. Forbidden burial authority detected. Class compatibility unstable. Survival probability less than 1%. Our guy coughs blood onto the nearest skull. Still higher than 0. The kneeling corpse moves. Its jaw opens. Black smoke pours from its mouth and enters the bell. Another corpse follows. Then another. Every last demon in the chamber begins surrendering its lingering soul. The bell absorbs them all. Corvin tries to rise. His left leg refuses to move. The contract on his wrist crawls toward his heart. Once it reaches the center of his chest, Othmar's fabricated corruption charge becomes permanent. The Basilica will be able to trace him anywhere. The black bell rings again. This time, the golden scripture stops. A second system alert tears across his vision. Grave Warden class rejected by buried sovereign, infernal succession initiated. Corvin's expression finally changes. Not fear, attention. The chamber walls light up. Murals emerge from beneath the soot. They show the first war between humans and demons. Not the version taught by the Basilica. In these images, human priests drag chained demons toward altars. They carve glowing organs from living bodies. They build the first sacred weapons from infernal bones. The black bell appears in every mural. It belongs to an executioner wearing no crown. A third alert follows ancient relic recognized as the Bell of Unfinished Death. Ownership requires one willing demon soul and one human rejected by divine covenant. Corvin looks at the golden contract burning around his wrist. The hero's party has already rejected him. That satisfies half the requirement. A wet scraping sound comes from behind. He turns. Something drags itself from the darkness. One hand grips the floor. A broken horn catches the purple fire. Marith Vaughn pulls her ruined body across the bones. Her severed head has reattached badly. Black flame stitches the neck together. The silver spear wound remains open. Her missing arm is still gone. She should not be able to move. Yet the hidden grave carries the remains of every demon slain inside the cathedral. The blood symbol above has pulled her soul downward. Marith reaches the platform. Her eye locks onto Corvin. Murderous pressure fills the chamber. Even half dead, she is terrifying. The kneeling corpses tremble. Corvin does not. He has no weapon in hand, no usable mana, no functioning class, and a demon general is crawling toward his throat. Honestly, his situation is completely ridiculous. Marith raises her remaining hand. Black fire gathers around her claws. Corvin watches the flame. It flickers whenever the black bell rings. Her soul is collapsing. She has seconds left. Your soldiers are here, he says. The claws stop. Our necromancer is not making an emotional appeal. He points toward the kneeling dead. Marith follows the motion. Her expression cracks. The mighty Ashhorn general sees hundreds of soldiers awaiting burial. Not resurrection, not revenge. Just burial. Garen slaughtered them and planned to strip their cores. Corvin tried to stop him. Marith understands. The fire around her hand disappears. She presses her palm against the bell of unfinished death. The relic drinks her blood. A soul link snaps into place. For one violent instant, Corvin feels everything she refuses to say. The burning gate, the dying soldiers, the hero laughing as he cuts out demon hearts, the saint blessing the knives, the lancer stacking corpses like trophies, the contract mage recording every stolen core as destroyed. Then comes Marith's final decision. Not trust, not loyalty. A temporary alignment of hatred. The system confirms it in a ruthless flash: willing demon, soul accepted, divine rejection verified, hidden class awakened, demon necromancer. The golden contract on Corvin's wrist turns black. Othmar's scripture screams. Every fabricated sentence reverses direction. Instead of entering Corvin's heart, the curse drains into the bell. The relic devours it completely. New abilities surface one after another. Demon soul burial, infernal corpse command, authority theft, ash bone reconstruction, and one skill the system cannot translate. Its name appears as a row of broken symbols. Corvin studies them for half a second. Then the Bell of Unfinished Death explains the mechanism through instinct. Any demon raised by him retains its natural mutation. Any stolen authority can be distributed across his undead ranks. Every demon soul that accepts burial strengthens the next resurrection. 1 corpse is a servant, 10 corpses become a formation, 100 become a multiplying engine of infernal power. Talk about an absolute cheat. The cost is just as brutal. Human corpses provide almost nothing. Only demons can feed the class properly. Fortunately, the hero's party has left an entire cathedral full of them. Marith collapses. Her soul begins separating from her ruined body. A normal necromancer would force it back. Corvin does not. He places one hand beneath the black bell. Choose. The demon general stares at him. Our guy gives her no promise of freedom. No speech about friendship. No noble vow of revenge. He offers only a clear transaction. Serve until Garen's party falls. Keep her memories. Retain command over her soldiers. Receive the burial they were denied when the work is done. Marith's fingers curl. The soul link burns. She accepts. The bell rings for the 4th time. Black fire erupts across the chamber. Marith's body rises from the bones. Her broken spine straightens. Ash hardens over the missing arm, forming a crude skeletal limb. Her severed horn remains damaged. Her chest still carries the spear wound. She is weak, incomplete, barely a shadow of the general who fought above, but she stands. A system notification flashes first elite corpse acquired. Ashhorn General Marith Vaughn restored at fractured tier. Evolution conditions unknown. Corvin gets to his feet beside her. His own wounds remain. The new class does not heal him. That would be far too convenient. Instead, black threads spread from the bell and enter the surrounding corpses. 1 pair of purple eyes ignites, then another, then 20 more. Rusting armor shifts, clawed hands tighten around shattered weapons. The entire burial chamber begins to move. Far above, the hero's party is cutting open the first demon heart. Garen believes Corvin is dead. Isel believes the evidence is perfect. Brannick believes a useless servant has been discarded. Othmar believes his contract cannot fail. Deep below them, Corvin picks up a fallen executioner's blade. He tests its weight once. Then our newly awakened demon necromancer points it toward the sealed ceiling. Hundreds of buried demons rise at his command. The first corpse that obeys Corvin immediately loses its head. A rusted helmet spins across the burial chamber. The revived demon remains standing for 2 completely confused seconds. Then the rest of its body collapses. Corvin watches the black threads retreat into the Bell of Unfinished Death. A system warning flashes across his vision. Resurrection failed. Soul structure unstable. Infernal authority insufficient. Marith stands beside him with her crude ash arm hanging uselessly at her side. She does not laugh. The demon general simply looks from the fallen soldier to Corvin. That stare says enough. Our newly awakened demon necromancer has raised exactly 1 elite corpse and failed on his very next attempt. Talk about a terrifying beginning. Corvin kneels beside the headless body. He checks the bones first. The neck has not broken from physical weakness. Black cracks spread across the skull. The soul rejects the command after entering the corpse. That means the problem is not the body, it is consent. See, ordinary necromancers hammer dead souls into empty remains through raw mana. Corvin's hidden class works differently. The Bell of Unfinished Death does not enslave demons automatically, it offers burial. A demon soul accepts that burial, leaves behind an infernal tithe, and chooses whether its corpse may rise afterward. 1 willing soul creates a stable soldier. 10 willing souls create a funeral knot. Every completed knot strengthens the next resurrection and copies a fraction of that new corpse's natural mutation across the existing cohort. The process starts slowly, then it becomes completely ridiculous. 1 enhanced corpse strengthens 10 weaker ones. Those 10 help create the next knot. The next knot produces a stronger resurrection. That strength spreads backward again. Given enough demon souls, Corvin does not build an army 1 soldier at a time. He builds a multiplying engine. Unfortunately, the dead around him do not know that. They only feel a human touching their remains. Most respond with pure hatred. Corvin places 2 fingers against the cracked skull. His old Grave Warden instincts take over. He does not force the lingering soul. He follows it. A battlefield memory floods the soul link. The demon soldier is running through the cathedral. Golden light tears through his stomach. Brannick pins him to a wall. Isel cuts the core from his chest before death fully reaches him. The soldier dies, believing Marith abandoned the rear formation. Corvin withdraws his hand. He looks toward the demon general. She ordered a retreat. Marith's eye narrows. She stayed behind to hold the altar, Corvin adds. You never heard the order. The soul inside the skull trembles. Marith steps forward. She cannot speak. Her severed throat still contains too much sacred damage. Instead, she presses her fist against her chest. Then she points toward the kneeling dead. Her soul link opens. A single memory flows through the chamber. Marith stands alone before the cathedral doors. Her soldiers flee through the eastern passage. She tears down the passage herself after the final squad escapes. Then Garen's divine sword breaks through the western wall. The memory ends. The cracked skull stops resisting. Purple fire settles inside its empty sockets. A system alert confirms the change-willing burial accepted. First infernal tithe acquired. Corvin raises the corpse again. This time, the headless body retrieves its skull. It places the skull beneath one arm and kneels before Marith. The general turns away. Her shoulders remain rigid. Deep down, she does not want these soldiers standing again. She wants them resting. Corvin understands that. He also understands that Garen's party is still above them. Rest comes later. First comes work. Our guy moves from corpse to corpse. He touches a broken horn. He follows a lingering memory. He identifies a name. He shows the dead what really happened. Some souls reject him. Some dissolve immediately. Others recognize Marith and accept the bell. The first 10 take nearly an hour. When the 10th soul enters the relic, black lines spread across the floor. The bell of unfinished death releases one low pulse. Every revived soldier straightens. Their bones become denser. Ash seals the gaps in their armor. The headless demon finally places its skull back onto its neck. A system notification flashes first funeral knot completed. Cohort capacity increased to 12. Corvin raises the next 2 corpses. Neither collapses. The second knot takes half as long. Marith begins helping without being ordered. She moves among the dead. A touch against a shoulder reveals loyalty. A fist against the chest reveals honor. A turned back reveals betrayal. The general does not beg them to serve. She gives them the truth. That is enough. 20 souls become 24 soldiers. 30 souls become 38. By the 4th funeral knot, the bell copies a fragment of Marith's ash horn mutation into the lower ranks. Small black horns push through several skulls. Purple embers gather around rusted blades. Their fire is weak. Their formation is not. Corvin tests them against the sealed northern passage. 4 soldiers strike together. The stone cracks. 8 strike next. The entire door caves inward. Beyond it waits a tunnel filled with bones. Something massive moves under them. Corvin raises one hand. The army stops instantly. Marith reaches for a weapon that is no longer there. Her old warcleaver remains somewhere above. Our necromancer studies the tunnel. The bones ripple like water. A long jaw emerges. Then another. A grave parasite tears itself from the floor. The creature has no true skeleton. It builds a temporary body from whatever corpses surround it. Dozens of demon ribs form its legs. Human skulls line its spine. 3 stolen torsos hang beneath its stomach, still twitching. The thing has been feeding on the burial chamber for centuries. A system alert identifies it as an ossuary devourer at wounded commander tier. That is several levels above Corvin. The creature charges. Our guy sends 12 soldiers forward. The devourer sweeps one enormous limb across the tunnel. 6 undead explode against the wall. The remaining 6 lose their weapons. Marith moves next. She crosses the distance in a savage blur. Her ash arm forms a blade and cuts through the creature's first leg. The devourer bites down. The general blocks with her damaged limb. The crude arm shatters instantly. Black ash scatters across the tunnel. Marith is thrown backward. Corvin catches her by the collar before she hits the bones. The demon general twists toward him. Pure fury burns through the soul link, not at the monster. At her own weakness, Corvin releases her. Then stop fighting like your old body still exists. Marith freezes. That lands. She spent years wielding a 2-handed cleaver. Her current body has one real arm. Her balance is different. Her reach is shorter. Her infernal core is fractured. Trying to recreate the past only makes her predictable. The devourer lunges again. Corvin sends the headless soldier directly beneath its jaw. The demon does not attack. It drops flat. The creature's mouth slams into the ground. Corvin watches the stolen skulls along its spine. Every time the devourer moves, the 3rd skull flashes first. A control node. He points. Marith sees it. Our necromancer orders 4 soldiers to attack the creature's rear legs. The devourer turns. Another 6 rush the opposite side. It turns again. The thing keeps following the largest concentration of soul fire. Exactly as Corvin expects. He pulls the infernal tithes from 3 damaged soldiers. Their bodies collapse. The released energy flows into Marith's broken shoulder. A black flame extends from the stump. Corvin wraps the flame with demon vertebrae taken from the tunnel. He binds them using silver burial thread. Then he locks the joints with a length of altar chain. The reconstruction is ugly. It is also far stronger than ash. A system notification flashes elite corpse modification successful. Ash bone chain arm acquired. Marith tests the new limb once. The chain inside it extends. Her skeletal hand shoots across the tunnel. It wraps around the flashing skull on the Devourer's spine. The creature finally realizes the trap. Too late. Corvin orders every soldier to pull backward. The undead formation drags the monster's body in one direction. Marith pulls its control node in the other. The third skull tears free. The ossuary devourer collapses into a mountain of stolen bones. Its true body appears underneath. A pale worm, no larger than a human arm. Marith's chain hand snaps back. She catches the parasite in midair. Then she crushes it inside her fist. Black fluid runs between her new bone fingers. The bell of unfinished death rings. The parasite's accumulated souls flood the chamber. Most are too damaged to resurrect. They still accept burial. Infernal tithes rise from the remains like purple sparks. 43, 57, 71. The fifth funeral knot forms. Then the sixth. The seventh follows before the bell finishes ringing. Every surviving soldier changes. Their armor seals completely. Ash flames run along their weapons. The weakest rise from fractured tier to common tier. 4 soldiers with intact cores advance into veteran tier. The headless demon reaches elite candidate status and grows a thick horn across the center of his forehead. Corvin looks at the army. 72 demons now stand in formation. 6 more remain too damaged for battle. Marith stands at the front with her chained bone arm resting against her side. Her body is still incomplete. Her core remains shattered. Yet she now possesses enough strength to tear apart an ordinary holy knight. Our guy finally has a usable force. He still has no safe way out. The collapsed northern tunnel leads deeper underground. The ceiling above remains sealed by Othmar's contracts. Corvin returns to the central chamber. His pack lies beneath the platform where Brannock threw it. The leather is torn. The contents survive. His field knife remains sharp. The grave salt jar has cracked. All 7 soul jars are intact. More importantly, the casualty records remain dry. Corvin opens the first ledger. For 3 years, he has recorded every demon corpse the party claims to destroy. He also records what actually happens to them. Garen keeps the strongest hearts. Isel harvests regenerative tissue. Brannock removes horns and weapon bones. Othmar sells soul fragments through anonymous contracts. The true records can destroy the hero's reputation. They cannot destroy the Basilica. Not yet. The church will simply call them demonic fabrications. Corvin needs the 4 heroes to create evidence no priest can dismiss. That requires bait. Our necromancer removes the original pages. He rolls them tightly and seals them inside a soul jar. Then he cuts open the inner lining of Marith's ruined cloak. The jar disappears beneath the fabric. Marith looks down at it. Corvin does not ask whether she understands. He knows she does. Next, he places blank burial sheets inside the ledger. He begins writing. The handwriting matches his real records perfectly. The dates are genuine. The supply numbers are genuine. The missing quantities are genuine. Only the destination changes. Instead of recording the materials stolen by the hero's party, the false pages claim Corvin has secretly moved them through a smuggling route called the Mourner's Gate. He lists an abandoned corpse processing station beneath the capital. Locker 13, third bell after midnight. Black burial caskets only. The route actually exists. Corvin used it for years to move plague victims without exposing the city. That truth makes the lie painfully convincing. He adds small mistakes. 1 crossed-out number. A drop of old ink. A hurried note squeezed into the margin. Perfect records look forged. Messy records look private. Then Corvin scrapes demonic core dust from the cracked grave salt jar. He rubs it into the ledger's spine. Any magical investigator will detect illegal residue. Finally, he touches the black contract scar around his wrist. Othmar's remaining scripture clings to the skin. Corvin cuts 1 symbol free. He presses it against the false ledger. The contract residue recognizes the real dates and authentic handwriting. Blue light flashes once. Verification accepted. Now Othmar's own magic will certify the bait. Our guy closes the ledger. He places the soul jars back inside the pack. 6 remain empty. 1 contains the real evidence. Then he tears the pack's strap. He smears blood across the leather. He leaves 1 burial needle stuck in the side. It looks exactly like luggage abandoned during a violent fall. Corvin carries it beneath the sealed shaft. Othmar's contract still hums above. The mage has not left. Good. Our necromancer orders the headless elite candidate to climb. The demon digs its claws into the fused horns along the wall. It carries the pack upward. Halfway to the seal, Corvin commands it to stop. He threads silver burial wire through the torn strap. The other end attaches to a loose stone. Then he sends a pulse through the contract scar. Far above, blue scripture flickers. Othmar immediately notices. Meanwhile, the hero's party is still carving Marith's core chamber apart. Garen has found nothing. The demon general's infernal authority disappeared when her soul entered the bell. That leaves the hero completely furious. Brannick kicks the empty corpse. Ysel searches the altar. Othmar suddenly raises one hand. My contract detected movement. Garen turns toward the sealed pit. He survived? Impossible. The contract mage sounds certain. His eyes do not. Othmar opens a gap no wider than his wrist. A blue chain descends into the shaft. Corvin waits in the darkness below. The chain touches the pack. He cuts the burial wire. The loose stone falls. It strikes the wall 3 times. Then silence. Othmar feels the impacts through his magic. To him, it sounds like a wounded man losing his grip. The chain pulls the pack upward. Corvin does not follow. That would be reckless. He lets the bait go. The seal closes again. Above, Brannick recognizes the luggage. Still worried about that useless pack, Othmar empties it across the altar. Soul jars roll through Marith's blood. Burial needles scatter. The false ledger lands beside Garen's boot. Ysel opens it first. Her eyes move across the pages. The saint's expression changes, not horror, interest. There is a route into the capital. Othmar takes the ledger. His verification spell reacts immediately. Blue symbols confirm the handwriting. The dates align with completed missions. The residue tests positive for demon cores. Even the contract scar matches the one he placed on Corvin. Every detail supports the same conclusion. Corvin has been smuggling materials through Mourner's Gate. Garen reads the entry for Locker 13. A slow smile spreads across his face. The hero does not care about proving Corvin guilty. He cares about the root. The party has 6 demon hearts they cannot register without revealing the illegal harvest. Corvin's supposed network solves that problem. Can we use it? Garen asks. Othmar studies the delivery cipher. He used genuine Basilica funeral codes. Ysel looks toward the sealed pit. The shovel was more useful than we thought. Brannick laughs. Then we take his route too. None of them question why the ledger survives. None of them wonder why Othmar's verification accepts it. Greed supplies every answer they need. That is exactly what Corvin counts on. Deep below, the bell of unfinished death releases a quiet pulse. The black scar around his wrist shows him the contract mage's reaction. The ledger has been opened. The bait has been swallowed. Corvin turns toward the northern tunnel. 72 undead soldiers wait behind him. Marith stands at his side. Her chained bone fingers close around the soul jar containing the real records. Our demon necromancer lifts the black bell from its platform. The entire burial chamber shudders. A hidden passage opens beneath the kneeling dead. Cold air rises from somewhere far below the capital. See, Mourner's Gate does not merely lead into an abandoned corpse station. Its oldest tunnels connect every mass grave built before the Basilica seized power. Garen believes he has discovered a smuggling route. In reality, he has chosen the delivery entrance to Corvin's future domain. Hours later, the first black burial casket enters Locker 13. Othmar's contract seal glows across its lid. Inside rests a freshly harvested demon heart. The casket descends through the old funeral mechanism. It passes beneath the capital. It crosses the forgotten ossuary. Then it slides directly into the darkness before Corvin. The bell of unfinished death rings once. Every undead soldier opens its eyes. Our guy places one hand on the stolen heart. A system alert flashes across his vision. High-grade infernal material received. Funeral furnace unlocked. Corvin looks toward the ceiling. The hero's party thinks it has found a place to hide its crimes. Instead, it has just delivered the first piece of his army. The third black casket arrives with someone still breathing inside it. Corvin hears the heartbeat before the funeral mechanism finishes descending. Slow, weak, completely human. Marith's chained fingers tighten around the hilt of a scavenged blade. 72 undead soldiers surround the receiving platform beneath Mourner's Gate. Not a single one moves without permission. The casket lands. Blue contract scripture crawls across its lid. Othmar's seal confirms the delivery as processed demonic material. The label is a lie. Corvin breaks it open. A young undertaker lies inside with both wrists bound in silver cord. His uniform bears the gray lantern of the capital's municipal burial office. One eye is swollen shut. 3 fingers are broken. A confession contract has been carved into his chest. Our demon necromancer recognizes him. Tavian Rusk operates the upper station above Locker 13. He processes unclaimed bodies, plague remains, and battlefield casualties that respectable priests refuse to touch. 3 years ago, Tavian gives Corvin access to Mourner's Gate without asking why the hero's servant needs a private route. He only demands that every corpse receive a name before burial. Apparently, that tiny piece of decency is enough to get him stuffed inside a coffin. Tavian's open eye finds Corvin. Confusion hits first, then recognition. You are dead. Officially. Corvin cuts the silver cords. The confession contract reacts. Golden letters spread across Tavian's chest. Municipal Undertaker admits to assisting Grave Warden Corvin Vale in illegal demon trafficking. Our guy presses 2 fingers against the glowing text. The bell of unfinished death hums behind him. Black fire enters the contract. The golden letters resist. Then they peel away from Tavian's skin one by one. Authority theft activates. The forced confession disappears. Its binding power flows into Corvin's palm. A system alert flashes across his vision. Minor Covenant authority stolen, compatible with funeral furnace. Tavian gasps. The wounds remain. The contract does not. Corvin stores the stolen authority inside one empty soul jar. The glass fills with pale gold smoke. Marith watches closely. Her soul link sends a brief pulse. A question. Corvin looks at the casket's inner wall. Someone has written a message in blood. The traitor survived. The route is compromised. Purification begins at dawn. Othmar's handwriting is nowhere on it. The mage is too careful for that, but the contract seal tells the truth. The hero's party wants Tavian found beneath Mourner's Gate. They want the Undertaker's body discovered beside stolen demon hearts. Then the Basilica can declare the entire station corrupted. Every worker above will be arrested. Every tunnel will be sealed. And Garen's group will erase the route after using it to hide the first shipments. The false ledger bought Corvin access to their crimes. Now those crimes are scheduled for destruction. Our necromancer checks the black scar around his wrist. Othmar's verification thread still connects him to the bait ledger. The connection carries a faint vibration. 6 separate contracts are approaching the station. The first arrives in less than an hour. Corvin cannot abandon Mourner's Gate. The trap depends on it. He cannot let Tavian remain here either. The hero's party expects the Undertaker to become evidence. If his corpse vanishes, Othmar grows suspicious. If he survives publicly, Garen sends stronger hunters. Corvin studies the broken fingers. Then he looks at Marith. Find a body with the same height. The demon general turns toward the waiting ranks. The headless elite candidate steps forward. Its skull is properly attached now, though the neck still rotates slightly too far. Marith shoves it aside. Wrong species. Wrong shape. The demon looks almost offended. She walks into the ossuary and returns with an unclaimed human corpse wrapped in rotting linen. The man died years ago. His face is destroyed. His frame nearly matches Tavian's. Corvin removes the municipal Undertaker's coat. He dresses the corpse. Then he places Tavian's blood beneath its fingernails. He transfers a fragment of the stolen confession authority into the dead chest. Golden letters appear across the ruined skin. The same accusation returns. The same magical signature answers. The body now carries enough truth to support the lie. Tavian watches the entire process. His face turns pale. You planned this quickly. Corvin seals the replacement corpse inside the casket. They planned it slowly. That is the only answer he gives. Marith carries Tavian toward the lower tunnels. Her new chain arm wraps around his waist without crushing him. The Undertaker does not struggle. A one-armed demon general made of ash and bone is somehow not the most terrifying thing he has seen tonight. Corvin orders 60 undead to retreat with them. Only 12 remain. 4 common tier ash soldiers. 7 fractured tier corpses. And the horned elite candidate. The reduced force is deliberate. A hidden army stays hidden. A massacre creates questions. Our guy needs 1 survivor to spread the correct rumor. He moves to their upper station. Mourner's Gate groans as the ancient lift carries him through the buried levels of the capital. The black bell hangs beneath his coat. Its surface shrinks when fed infernal energy. Right now, it is no larger than his fist. Each quiet toll sends a pulse through every corpse beneath the district. Corvin feels thousands of them. Paupers, criminals, plague victims, unknown soldiers. Human dead offer almost no power to his class. They offer information. Every corpse remembers its final surroundings. Through the bell, the newly classed necromancer senses boots moving across the station floor above. 6 living heartbeats. 1 remains near the rear door. 2 spread toward the lockers. 3 approach the central furnace. Trained formation, no wasted movement. The lift stops beneath a rusted hatch. Corvin enters the station. Rows of stone tables fill the room. Gray lanterns hang from iron chains. Ash covers the floor. The furnace at the far wall burns with ordinary orange fire. The municipal workers are gone. Good. Tavian sent them home before he was taken. Corvin places the false corpse beside locker 13. He spills 1 jar of demon blood across the floor. He leaves 2 stolen horns beside the body. Then he steps into the furnace shadow. The first purification knight enters. White enamel armor covers him from throat to heel. A golden sun is carved into his mask. 5 more follow. Their leader wears a red mantle over one shoulder. Captain Edric Sorn. Corvin remembers the name from Garen's victory banquets. Sorn commands the Basilica's 6th Ash detail. His unit does not investigate corruption. It burns the location first. Then it writes a report explaining why everyone inside deserved it. The captain finds the corpse. He kneels beside it. A priestly lens opens over one eye. Golden light scans the confession text. Identity confirmed, Sorn says. Tavian Rusk, accomplice. One knight checks the horns. Demon residue confirmed. Another finds the casket. Othmar Pell's transport seal is present. Sorn pauses. That detail was not meant to enter the official report. The knight immediately lowers his voice. Secondary contamination, Captain. Correct. The red-mantled officer stands. He does not question why Othmar's seal appears on illegal cargo. He simply changes the truth. Talk about a beautifully trained servant. Sorn raises one hand. Burn the body. Burn the records. Burn the lower mechanisms. The knights spread through the station. One pours sacred oil across the lockers. Another prepares a sunburst charge beside the funeral lift. That charge will collapse every tunnel beneath Mourner's Gate. Corvin waits. The captain removes a small communication mirror. Garen's face appears across the glass. Is it done? Sorn looks at the false corpse. The Undertaker is confirmed dead. Then remove the route. The hero sounds bored. Corvin listens from the darkness. Garen does not mention him. That means the party still believes he died in the cathedral. Perfect. Sorn closes the mirror. Proceed. Corvin rings the black bell. Just once. Every gray lantern in the station goes dark. The knights turn. The furnace continues burning. Its orange glow stretches 6 enormous shadows across the walls. A fractured tier demon drops from the ceiling. Its rusted blade strikes the nearest knight's shoulder. The holy armor stops the attack completely. The knight backhands the corpse through a stone table. Another demon charges from beneath a burial cloth. A sunlit spear pierces its chest. Sacred fire erupts. The undead soldier burns from the inside. Captain Sorn does not even draw his sword. Minor grave infestation. 4 knights activate purification sigils together. Golden lines cover the floor. Corvin's remaining soldiers rush from hiding. The sigils explode. 3 undead disintegrate instantly. 2 lose their legs. Another crashes into the furnace. The horned elite candidate blocks a sacred blade with both arms. The weapon cuts through one wrist, then the second. The demon staggers backward without hands. Sorn finally notices Corvin near the lift. The captain's priestly lens scans him. No registered class appears. No human mana appears either. The bell conceals both. Identify yourself. Corvin steps into the furnace light. A burial mask covers the lower half of his face. Tavian's gray hood hides his hair. Black contract scars remain wrapped beneath cloth. You came to destroy the station. Sorn draws his sword. That is not an identity. It is enough. The captain attacks. Golden force crosses the room in a single flash. Corvin raises the executioner's blade. The sacred sword breaks through it. Steel fragments tear across his coat. The next strike cuts his shoulder. A third opens his side. Our necromancer retreats between the stone tables. The remaining purification knights advance. Sacred oil ignites behind them. Orange fire becomes white. The entire station fills with brutal heat. Corvin sends 4 undead from opposite directions. Sorn's formation destroys them in seconds. The captain drives a boot into Corvin's chest. Our guy crashes against a locker. Metal folds around his body. The bell of unfinished death slips from beneath his coat. It hits the floor. Every knight sees it. Sorn's priestly lens expands. An infernal relic. The captain's confidence becomes absolute. Take it intact. 3 knights surround Corvin. Another retrieves the sunburst charge from the lift. The last guards the rear door. Sorn approaches the bell. He believes the battle is already over. Honestly, that is exactly what Corvin needs. Our demon necromancer remains against the crushed locker. Blood runs beneath his coat. His 12 soldiers have been reduced to 4 damaged bodies. The horned candidate still has no hands. The sacred formation covers every exit. This is the moment an ordinary summoner panics. Corvin watches. Each purification sigil shines when a knight breathes out. The lines dim when they breathe in. Their formation is not powered independently. All 6 soldiers synchronize their mana through Sorn's red mantle. The captain acts as the central distributor. Damage 1 knight, and the mantle compensates. Kill 1 knight, and the unused blessing spreads among the survivors. That is why their attacks become stronger each time Corvin loses a minion. The formation rewards casualties on either side. A savage mechanism, also a vulnerable one. Corvin wipes blood from his side. He lets 1 drop fall across the black bell. The relic rings a second time. A system notification flashes experimental authority field available, effective radius limited to 9 paces. This is the skill he unlocked from Tavian's confession contract. It has never been tested in combat. That does not mean it is unprepared. Corvin has already watched the stolen Covenant smoke react to the funeral furnace. He knows authority can be transferred, He does not yet know how much. The nearest knight thrusts a spear. Our guy turns slightly. The blade pierces his coat instead of his heart. Corvin catches the shaft beneath one arm. He looks directly at Sorn. The reading is complete. Now comes the answer. Funeral Dominion. The words are quiet, the effect is not. A black circle spreads from the bell of unfinished death. It covers 9 paces. Nothing outside that radius changes. Inside it, every active covenant becomes burial property. The purification sigils turn black. Sorn's red mantle jerks backward. Golden power pours out of the 6 knights. Their synchronized blessings flow into the bell. Then the funeral furnace distributes that stolen authority across Corvin's remaining undead. The fractured corpses ignite with pale gold fire. Sacred reinforcement wraps around demonic bones. The contradiction should be impossible. The hidden class does not care. One soldier rises without legs. Golden scripture forms temporary limbs beneath it. Another demon's shattered chest seals with holy light. The horned elite candidate grows new hands from condensed covenant authority. Captain Sorn's priestly lens cracks. What did you do? Corvin pulls the spear from his coat. Reassigned ownership. The Purification Knights attack. Their formation no longer answers. Every sword suddenly feels heavy. Every sacred step becomes slow. A bone aura spreads from the revived demons. The stolen blessing amplifies it. Sorn's unit loses strength with every breath. Our necromancer marks the captain with a black curse. Funeral chains coil around the red mantle. Sorn tries to redistribute power. The bell steals it again. Corvin sends 2 undead low. The knights block. The horned candidate attacks high. Its new golden hands tear a sacred spear in half. Another soldier clamps onto a knight's shadow. The man freezes. Corvin crosses the distance. He drives the broken executioner's blade beneath the knight's mask. The first purification soldier falls. His blessing tries to spread. Funeral Dominion intercepts it. The power enters Corvin's army instead. The remaining undead become faster. The next knight dies in 3 strikes. Then the third falls. Sorn finally panics. He activates the sunburst charge manually. A sphere of white fire expands beside the lift. Corvin cannot absorb it. Not yet. He orders every soldier backward. The blast erupts. Stone tables disintegrate. The station ceiling cracks. The black authority circle flickers. 2 demons vanish in the explosion. Corvin is thrown across the room. His shoulder strikes the furnace gate. Bone snaps. The captain runs for the rear door. The surviving knight follows. Corvin tries to rise. His left arm refuses. The Dominion field is collapsing. Sorn reaches the exit. Then an ashbone chain tears through the door. It wraps around the captain's throat. Marith stands in the passage beyond. She was ordered to take Tavian below. She completed that order. Then she returned. The demon general pulls once. Sorn flies backward across the station. His red mantle tears free. Corvin catches it with his working hand. The source of the formation is now his. Marith's chained arm retracts. She steps over the captain. Her scavenged blade remains sheathed. Instead, she grips Sorn's mask with skeletal fingers. The captain stabs her stomach. Marith does not react. She lifts him from the floor. Then she crushes the golden mask into his skull. The captain's body goes limp. Companion finishing blow. Completely merciless, the last purification knight stares at Marith, then at Corvin, then at the black bell. His courage disappears. He runs. Corvin lets him. That survivor will describe a masked corpse mage controlling demons beneath the capital. He will report fewer than 15 undead. He will claim the army relies on a 9-pace relic field. He will insist the mysterious necromancer is protecting Mourner's Gate. Every fact is true. None reveals Corvin. The rumor begins exactly where our guy wants it. The bell of unfinished death tolls a 3rd time. 5 purification souls rise from the bodies. Human souls provide little infernal strength. Their active blessings provide plenty. Corvin strips the covenant authority from each corpse. Golden smoke floods the funeral furnace. The 4 surviving undead kneel. Their bones absorb the stolen power. 2 fractured soldiers advance into common tier. 1 common soldier advances into veteran tier. The horned elite candidate reaches full elite status. Its central horn splits into 3 backward points. Golden scripture wraps around both newly formed hands. A system alert names it Covenant Breaker Drawl. First lesser elite beneath Ashhorn General Marith. Drawl looks at his hands. Then he looks at Corvin. The demon presses both fists against his chest. No proud nod. No demand for praise, just acknowledgement. The fallen demon corpses also release infernal tithes. 9 more souls accept burial. The 8th funeral knot completes. Cohort capacity rises from 78 to 96. Every soldier beneath Mourner's Gate receives a fragment of stolen purification resistance. Sacred damage will still hurt them. It will no longer erase the weakest in one strike. Marith retrieves Sorn's communication mirror. A crack runs across Garen's frozen reflection. She offers it to Corvin. Our necromancer places the captain's red mantle inside the false corpse's casket. He adds Sorn's broken mask. He leaves Othmar's transport seal untouched. When the Basilica investigates, it will find its own purification captain dead beside cargo certified by the hero's contract mage. The party will blame Sorn. The Basilica will blame the unknown necromancer. Othmar will quietly wonder whether Corvin's root was ever truly his. Doubt has not begun yet, but the first seed is now buried. Corvin closes the casket. Above the ruined station, bells ring across the capital. Citizens wake. Holy patrols mobilize. By sunrise, taverns near the burial district whisper about a masked figure carrying a black bell. Some call him the mourner, others call him the ash collector. One terrified knight gives him a different name. The demon necromancer beneath the capital. Corvin hears the rumor through the station's fresh corpses. He does not smile. He lifts the bell of unfinished death and turns toward the lower tunnels. Marith walks beside him. Draal follows behind. Far below, 96 burial marks begin glowing in the darkness. The hero's party believes an unknown enemy has stolen its secret route. Corvin knows the truth is much worse. The root has started building an army from everything they send through it. 96 burial marks ignite beneath the capital at exactly the same moment. The old tunnels answer with a sound like an enormous beast taking its first breath. Stone gates unlock, collapsed passages split open. Forgotten corpse lifts groan back into motion. For the first time in centuries, Mourner's Gate becomes more than a smuggling route. It becomes a kingdom with no sunlight. Corvin walks at the front of the undead column. The bell of unfinished death hangs beneath his coat. Marith follows at his right shoulder. Draal marches at his left. Behind them, 76 battle-ready demons move in complete silence. Another 20 remain in the lower ossuary, repairing broken bodies with ash, bone, and stolen burial iron. The army is still small. Compared to the legions beneath the Basilica, it is almost laughable. Compared to what Corvin possessed 2 nights ago, it is absolutely insane. See, the ancient capital is built over 5 previous cities. Each dynasty covers the ruins of the one before it. Palaces become foundations, temples become sewers. Battlefields become residential districts, and every generation buries its inconvenient dead beneath the same streets. The Sun Basilica claims ownership of the upper cemeteries. It never bothers mapping what lies below them. That mistake now belongs to Corvin. The first chamber opens beneath the abandoned Western Hospice. Thousands of plague bones fill narrow stone shelves. The second sits under the royal tannery. Execution victims hang from iron hooks, their names removed from every public record. The third burial hall belongs to demons. Their bodies have been cut apart and stored in numbered clay jars. No hearts, no horns, no cores. The Basilica harvested everything valuable before dumping the remains. Marith enters that chamber alone. Our necromancer does not follow immediately. The soul link carries enough. Cold fury. Recognition, then something much heavier. Many of the jars contain soldiers from the Ashhorn Legion. Some fought beside her. Others vanished during earlier campaigns. Officially, the hero's party purified them. In reality, sacred surgeons dismantled them for materials. Marith walks between the shelves. Her ash-bone chain arm drags lightly across the floor. She stops before one cracked jar. A small insignia has been scratched into the clay. 3 horns beneath a black moon. The general lowers herself to one knee. Draal attempts to enter. Corvin raises one hand. The lesser elite stops instantly. This moment belongs to her. Marith opens the jar. Inside rests the skull of a demon officer. The jaw has been removed. Both horns have been sawed off. A sacred nail remains lodged between the eyes. The lingering soul is too weak to form words. It still recognizes its commander. The entire chamber trembles. Hundreds of jars begin vibrating in response. Marith presses her living hand against the floor. The gesture is not dramatic. It is not gentle either. It is an order. Every soul in the chamber becomes still. Then the demon general lowers her head. One by one, the dead accept burial. Purple sparks rise from the shelves. 10, 30, 70. More than 100. The bell of unfinished death begins ringing beneath Corvin's coat. Funeral knots form so quickly that black lines overlap across the floor. The 9th knot completes, then the 10th. The 11th tears through the chamber with enough force to crack the sacred nails inside every skull. Cohort capacity jumps from 96 to 128. The dead do not all rise. Most bodies are too incomplete. Their infernal tithes still enter the funeral furnace. Power flows through every existing soldier beneath Mourner's Gate. Broken armor seals. Fractured cores stabilize. Ash flames become darker. 23 common soldiers advance into veteran tier. 6 veteran soldiers approach elite candidate status. Draal's triple horn hardens into black crystal. Then the bell releases one final pulse. All remaining energy converges on Marith. Her fractured core reacts. Purple fire bursts from the spear wound in her chest. The demon general arches backward. Sacred cracks spread across her body. For one violent second, it looks like she is breaking apart. Corvin watches without interfering. He has seen this pattern inside the funeral furnace. The sacred damage is not merely injuring Marith, it is blocking her original authority. The silver spear wound remains a lock. As long as Garen's stolen divinity stays inside it, her true rank cannot return. Argai takes Captain Sorn's red mantle from Draal. Golden Covenant smoke still clings to the fabric. Corvin wraps the mantle around his hand and pushes it against Marith's chest. The stolen sacred authority reacts to the old spear wound. White fire erupts. The general's chained arm lashes across the chamber. Its skeletal fingers bury themselves in the wall. She does not scream. Marith simply grips harder. Corvin activates authority theft. The sacred residue inside her body resists. It belongs to Garen's divine sword. That weapon carries the hero's covenant. Stealing it directly is impossible. Reassigning where it belongs is not. The demon necromancer pulls the golden corruption from Marith's wound. He sends it into Sorn's mantle. The cloth ignites. Every sacred symbol turns black. Then the entire mantle collapses into ash. Marith's chest wound closes for the first time. Her infernal core beats. Once, the pressure throws Draal backward. Twice, every clay jar shatters. 3 times, black fire sweeps through the chamber. The general's missing arm reconstructs itself from condensed ash and fused demon bone. It is no longer a crude replacement. Long armor plates lock over the limb. A chain runs from the wrist to the shoulder. Each link carries a different soldier's burial mark. Her broken horn grows into a jagged crown on one side of her skull. The other side remains empty, asymmetrical, savage. Completely unmistakable. A system notification flashes across Corvin's vision. Ashhorn General Marith Vaughn advances from fractured tier to true elite tier. Command authority restored. New trait acquired. Legion memory. Every undead demon in the chamber straightens. The trait moves through them like a shared instinct. They suddenly remember formations they never learned. Shield lines lock tighter. Spears lower at matching angles. Archers spread without receiving commands. Marith has not regained her old army. She has made the new one inherit its discipline. Talk about a brutal upgrade. The demon general rises. Her first action is not to test her strength. She walks to the skull of the mutilated officer. Marith removes the sacred nail. Then she places the skull inside an undamaged burial jar. She seals it with black flame. Only after the burial is complete does she turn toward Corvin. The soul link sends no gratitude, no oath. Just a clear fact. She is ready. Our necromancer accepts that. He gives her command of the eastern tunnels. Draal receives the western corpse lifts. Corvin keeps the central furnace and Mourner's Gate. The underground domain begins functioning before sunrise. Undead laborers clear collapsed passages. Veteran soldiers secure burial halls. Elite candidates patrol the sewer junctions where living smugglers sometimes pass. No demon is allowed above the forgotten levels without Corvin's command. No human corpse is disturbed unless it contains useful memory. No soul is forced into service. Those are not moral rules. They are structural ones. Unwilling demons destabilize funeral knots. Random movement attracts the basilica. Unnecessary resurrection wastes energy. Corvin's kingdom runs on efficiency. Within 3 days, the hidden territory stretches beneath 7 districts. A former execution vault becomes the armory. The plague catacombs become the training ground. An underground chapel becomes Marith's command hall. The old corpse processing station beneath Locker 13 becomes the funeral furnace. Black caskets continue arriving. The hero's party sends 2 demon hearts on the first night. 4 more arrive on the second. By the third, Othmar begins routing entire shipments through Mourner's Gate. Garen believes the unknown necromancer only controls the lower tunnels. The party assumes Locker 13 remains safe because every casket reaches its intended destination. That destination is supposedly a group of illegal buyers beneath the eastern market. Corvin makes sure payment returns. He melts sacred coins taken from Sorn's unit. He stamps them with old smuggler marks. Then Tavian carries the payment back through a secondary lift. The Undertaker now wears a hood and a burial mask. Officially, he is dead. That makes him remarkably useful. Othmar receives the first payment package at midnight. Inside are 300 sanctified crowns. A note praises the quality of the harvested heart. Another requests larger quantities. Brannock is delighted. Essel calculates the profit before reading the final line. Garen orders the next shipment doubled. Only Othmar remains silent. The contract mage places the payment coins across a detection circle. Every crown is genuine. The smuggler marks are genuine. The burial dust matches the Eastern market. Nothing appears wrong. That bothers him. Real criminals steal a portion. Real smugglers delay payments. Real buyers argue over purity. This new client accepts everything and pays immediately. Too immediately. Othmar checks Corvin's false ledger again. The notes describe Mourner's Gate as a reliable route used for years. The dates align. The funeral codes work. The dead undertaker confirms the connection. Every piece fits. Still, the mage's fingers remain on the page. Something troubles you? Ysel asks. Othmar looks toward the casket waiting beside them. It contains the preserved spine of a demon oracle. The basilica believes that oracle burned in the cathedral. Selling it could purchase an entire noble estate. The buyer has not negotiated, Brannick snorts. Then he is stupid. Or wealthy, Garen says. The hero places one hand on the casket. Greed settles the argument immediately. If the route works, use it. Othmar does not like the answer. He obeys anyway. The contract mage adds a private tracking seal beneath the casket's hinge. The mark is microscopic. It does not track location. It records every living hand that touches the cargo. A clever test. Corvin detects it before opening the lid. The bell of unfinished death feels covenant magic like grit inside a wound. Our guy does not destroy the seal. That would confirm suspicion. He orders no living person near the casket. 4 undead laborers unload it. Draal carries the demon spine into the funeral furnace. Marith inspects the relic using her bone hand. The tracking seal records nothing. No living contact. No identifiable mana. Only cold movement. Othmar studies the result from the hero's temporary estate. His detection circle remains blank. The mage's unease deepens. Brannick laughs again. The corpse handlers use tools. Perhaps. Ysel lifts the next sales manifest. They are requesting sacred marrow. Othmar turns sharply. Demon smugglers have no obvious use for sacred marrow. Necromancers do. For one dangerous second, the contract mage considers closing the route. Then Ysel names the offered payment, 2,000 crowns. A crate of royal-grade mana stones. And 1 unregistered relic from the old imperial crypt. Greed wins again. The next shipment leaves before dawn. Deep below the capital, Corvin opens the casket without touching it. Sacred marrow glows inside 12 silver tubes. The substance can reinforce human holy knights. It can also stabilize undead bodies against divine attacks. Our demon necromancer distributes the first tube across 20 soldiers. Golden lines spread through black bones. The second tube goes to Draal. His new hands harden until they can grip sacred steel without burning. The third enters Marith's restored core. She rejects it. The marrow strikes her chest and splashes across the floor. Corvin watches the reaction. Her infernal fire destroys the sacred material on contact. Interesting. Marith cannot integrate divine reinforcement. Her new legion memory can distribute it to others. That is better. Our hero pours the remaining marrow into the funeral furnace. Marith places one palm against the black flames. The sacred energy passes through her command authority. Instead of entering her body, it spreads across the entire eastern cohort. 36 undead gain minor purification resistance. The ability was foreshadowed in the station battle. Now it becomes a controlled military asset. Corvin records the result. No celebration, no wasted movement. Every delivery becomes another experiment. Demon hearts expand cohort capacity. Sacred marrow strengthens bones. Oracle tissue improves soul communication. Weapon fragments teach the furnace how to reconstruct battle techniques. Brannick sends a broken infernal spear. 3 undead lancers inherit its thrusting rhythm. Ysel sends regenerative tendons. Ash repairs begin operating twice as fast. Garen sends pieces of armor taken from high-ranking demons. The army gains an entire veteran shield unit. The hero's party thinks it is selling garbage. It is supplying a war machine. After 1 week, Corvin commands 128 active undead. 87 stand at veteran tier. 34 remain common tier but possess specialized labor mutations. 6 approach elite status. Draal holds the western tunnels as a full lesser elite. Marith dominates the eastern territory at true elite tier. Beyond them, more than 400 demon souls rest inside completed burial marks. They are not soldiers yet. They are reserves. A second fortress forms beneath the old royal aqueduct. A third begins beneath the basilica's grain district. Tavian establishes a silent network among undertakers, grave diggers, and plague collectors. None knows Corvin's identity. They know only that someone beneath the city pays for names, burial maps, and records of unclaimed demon remains. The living network feeds information downward. The undead network moves beneath it. Together, they become almost impossible to trace. Meanwhile, rumors of the demon necromancer spread. The basilica blames an outside cult. The city guard blames grave robbers. Smugglers claim a demon king has awakened. Garen publicly promises to destroy the threat. Privately, he keeps selling cargo through the same tunnels. That hypocrisy does not bother him at all. At the end of the 7th day, a massive casket arrives. No contract seal marks the lid. No sales manifest accompanies it. Othmar has sent a test. Corvin opens the container remotely. Inside lies a single human corpse dressed in demon armor. A tracking crystal has been hidden beneath the tongue. The body carries no valuable material. Destroying it reveals hostile intent. Returning it reveals inspection. Ignoring it creates delay. Our guy studies the corpse for 3 seconds. Then he removes one of the real demon hearts from the funeral furnace. He places it inside the human chest. Marith watches from across the chamber. Corvin seals the casket again. He sends it through an unused branch of Mourner's Gate. The branch leads beneath a rival smuggling den controlled by the Black Reed Syndicate. When the casket arrives, living criminals immediately open it. The tracking crystal records their faces. Othmar sees 12 smugglers surrounding what looks like a successful demon shipment. His suspicion finally receives an answer. The buyer is not a necromancer. It is the Black Reed Syndicate. At least, that is what the evidence shows. Garen orders Othmar to secure an exclusive agreement with them. Isel suggests increasing prices. Brannick wants to sell weapons next. The contract mage hesitates, only briefly. Then he drafts a binding supply pact. The heroes' party officially invests in the route. They promise 12 future shipments. They assign guards. They provide storage codes. They place their own names beneath the hidden contract. The trap closes another layer. Far below, the bell of unfinished death flashes with every signature. Corvin feels the new covenant connect to Mourner's Gate. He now possesses proof that all 4 heroes knowingly participate in the illegal trade. Not enough to destroy them yet. Enough to make escape far harder. Marith approaches the central map. She moves one black marker from the Cathedral District to the Basilica Quarter. A suggestion. The next expansion. Corvin studies the distance. 3 sacred barriers stand between his territory and the church foundations. One barrier is protected by prayer. One is protected by relic fire. The final barrier is protected by the bones of executed demon kings. Those bones can become an army. Our necromancer moves the marker forward. Across the city, Othmar signs the last page of the supply pact. The contract activates. Beneath his feet, an invisible black line enters the burial tunnels. The mage pauses. For a fraction of a second, he feels something pull from below. Then Garen places a cup of wine in his hand. The moment passes. Greed buries doubt once again. Deep under the capital, 128 undead soldiers kneel before Marith. Her restored arm rises. Every formation locks into place. Corvin stands before the map of the Basilica foundations. The Empire in the darkness is no longer preparing to survive. It is preparing to expand. The hero enters the Sun Basilica beneath a rain of golden petals. Thousands of citizens pack the grand processional. Nobles lean from marble balconies. Priests kneel along the avenue. Every bell in the capital rings Garen Holt's name. Apparently, selling demon organs through a corpse tunnel does not stop a man from looking completely holy in public. The hero raises one hand. The crowd erupts. Behind him, Isel Vane walks beneath a crystal canopy, while 6 fresh healing petals orbit her halo. Brannick Grieve wears ceremonial armor forged from the very demons he claims to have purified. Othmar Pell carries a silver book containing the new covenant of infernal recovery. That contract gives the hero's party exclusive authority over every demon corpse recovered inside the kingdom. No army may harvest a core without their permission. No guild may transport infernal remains without their seal. No undertaker may bury a demon without first surrendering the body to Basilica inspection. In 1 week, 4 grave robbers transform themselves into the legal owners of the dead. Talk about absolute efficiency. Garen climbs the white steps. High Pontiff Caldrus waits before the cathedral doors. The old priest places a sun-forged crown across the hero's brow. By sacred decree, the victorious party becomes the first shield of mankind. Another roar shakes the plaza. Garen turns toward the crowd. His smile is flawless. Our enemies believed fear would divide humanity. He pauses as if the next words descend directly from heaven. They were wrong. Far beneath those same marble steps, Corvin listens through 300 buried skulls. The dead cannot hear every word clearly. They feel vibrations. They remember voices. The bell of unfinished death assembles those fragments into something close enough. Our demon necromancer stands inside the final barrier chamber beneath the basilica. 128 undead soldiers wait behind him. Marith stands before him. Drawl guards the rear passage. Above, Garen announces that the demon necromancer beneath the capital will be destroyed within 7 days. Below, that necromancer studies a wall built from demon kings. The barrier stretches across the tunnel like a massive ribcage. 7 ancient skeletons have been fused into the stone. Each skull wears a broken iron crown. Sacred chains pass through every jaw. Golden prayers flow along the bones. The basilica does not merely use the remains as reinforcement. It forces the dead kings to generate the barrier protecting the church. Marith approaches the nearest skull. Her half-formed horn crown vibrates. The chains answer. A black pulse travels from her forehead into the wall. For 1 second, every dead king opens its eyes. A system warning flashes across Corvin's vision. Sovereign resonance detected. Elite companion evolution pathway, approaching activation. Required authority incomplete. There it is. Not an evolution. Not yet. Just the first sign that Marith's restored command authority is reacting to something older than her own legion. The demon general touches the nearest chain. Golden fire tears through her palm. She does not withdraw. Instead, Marith closes her fingers around it. The half-crown on her skull grows one thin spike. Then the sacred barrier hurls her across the chamber. She lands on both feet. Black smoke rises from her hand. Draw lowers his horns and charges. Corvin stops him with one gesture. Brute force will not break this wall. The 7 demon kings are already dead. Their souls have been carved apart. Their bones cannot consent to burial. That removes the bell's easiest path. Our guy examines the prayers binding their jaws. Each chain carries the signature of a different basilica office. Treasury, doctrine, purification, relics, inquisition, canon law, and the heroic covenant. 7 authorities maintain one barrier. Corvin possesses fragments of 3. Captain Sorn's purification blessing, Tavian's forced confession covenant, and the supply pact signed by Garen's party. Not enough to steal the wall, enough to test it. The necromancer removes a small golden seal from his coat. It belongs to the latest shipment contract. Othmar places the seal on every casket traveling through Mourner's Gate. The contract identifies the contents as property of the hero's party until payment is confirmed. Corvin presses the seal against a demon king's rib. The barrier reacts immediately. Golden prayers scan the ownership mark. Heroic property. Authorized transport. Approved by Basilica contract. The wall opens a gap no wider than a finger. Then it closes. Corvin looks upward. Above him, Othmar raises the covenant of infernal recovery before the High Pontiff. The entire plaza witnesses the church approving his work. Every new signature strengthens the contract authority flowing into Mourner's Gate. The mage believes he is securing a monopoly. In reality, he is giving Corvin a key. Our necromancer turns from the wall. He does not force the breach. Not today. The machine needs one final component. Meanwhile, Garen's speech reaches its carefully rehearsed climax. The hidden necromancer survives because cowards protect him. Citizens murmur. We will cleanse every tunnel. The crowd cheers. We will inspect every burial station. Undertakers exchange worried looks. And anyone who obstructs us will be treated as an enemy of mankind. That final line is not meant for demons. It is meant for human workers who might notice missing corpses. Iselle steps forward next. The saint places both hands over her heart. Her expression becomes painfully compassionate. For too long, corrupt handlers have profited from the bodies of our fallen. Corvin hears the lie from beneath the plaza. 3 years of battlefield memories pass through him. Iselle cutting tendons from living demons. Iselle storing regenerative flesh inside consecrated jars. Iselle withdrawing healing light from Corvin simply to worsen his injuries. The saint continues smiling. From this day onward, every infernal remain belongs to the sacred recovery program. The crowd applauds. Tavian stands in a hidden observation chamber below the Western Hospice. His broken fingers are wrapped in gray cloth. He watches the ceremony through a stolen mirror crystal. For the first time, anger breaks through his usual caution. They are taking the burial offices. Corvin does not answer. He already knows. The new covenant is not just greed. It is erasure. Once the hero's party controls every corpse station, no undertaker can compare official records against real bodies. Garen's crimes disappear into legal procedure. That is why Corvin allows the ceremony to happen. A private criminal route can be denied. A kingdom-wide covenant cannot. The more authority the party claims, the more spectacularly that authority will reverse when the trap closes. Othmar presents the contract to the High Pontiff. Cauldras signs. A golden wave spreads across the capital. Every cemetery gate flashes. Every burial ledger receives a new seal. Every corpse lift locks beneath heroic covenant authority. Far below, black lines ignite across Corvin's map. Mourner's Gate becomes officially connected to the Basilica system. The Heroes Party has just placed its secret route inside the same network it publicly controls. Corvin touches the bell of unfinished death. The relic absorbs the new connection. A system notification flashes hostile covenant infrastructure mapped. Reversal conditions 87% complete. Our guy remains expressionless. Deep down, he recognizes the shape of victory, not certainty. A shape. Reality can still shift. Othmar can still detect the trap. The Basilica can still sever the route. Garen can still decide to burn every shipment rather than sell it. Corvin does not assume success. He prepares for failure. He orders Tavian to duplicate every new burial seal. Draal moves 3 reserve cohorts away from Mourner's Gate. Mareth relocates the real ledgers beneath the old aqueduct. 16 undead laborers collapse 2 unnecessary tunnels. A false command hall is built beneath Locker 13. If the enemy attacks early, they find a disposable fortress. If they attack late, they enter the furnace. Either outcome costs Corvin resources. Neither ends him. Above, Brannick receives his reward. The Imperial Marshal presents him with command over the Basilica's new Corpse Reclamation Guard. 500 armed collectors kneel before the Lancer. Their duty is simple: seize every demon remain. Silence unlicensed handlers. Escort recovered materials to hero-approved storage. Brannick draws his spear. Its shaft is now wrapped in strips of Mareth's old battle banner. He stole it from the cathedral. The demon general sees the weapon through Corvin's shared memory. Her soul link goes completely still. That silence carries more danger than rage. Brannick plants the spear against the marble. Graves belong to those strong enough to fill them. The crowd laughs. The line travels downward through the bones. Corvin remembers it. Mareth does too. Then Brannick announces the first reclamation march. At sunset, his guards will clear the Eastern Undertaker district. They will seize every ledger. They will arrest anyone connected to Mourner's Gate. This is not part of Othmar's plan. The contract mage turns sharply. Garen looks equally surprised. Brannick has grown tired of secrecy. Now that the party controls the law, he sees no reason to hide. We should preserve the route, Othmar says quietly. Brannick's smile becomes savage. We own every route. The buyers still provide useful. We no longer need buyers. That is the first real fracture. Ysel sides with Brannick. The new covenant gives them access to royal funding. Why risk illegal sales when they can simply absorb the materials officially? Garen considers both sides. Then the High Pontiff praises the reclamation march before the entire crowd. Public approval decides the matter. The hero cannot contradict applause. Proceed, he says. Othmar closes the silver contract book. His suspicion returns. The route has become too useful. The payments arrive too smoothly. The demon necromancer remains unseen. And now Brannick plans to seize the station that supposedly connects them all. If the Black Reed Syndicate truly controls Mourner's Gate, resistance is inevitable. If no resistance appears, something is wrong. The mage looks toward the burial district. For once, greed does not fully bury doubt. It merely delays action. Othmar slips a private clause into Brannick's command warrant. Every confiscated object will record its final holder. Every opened locker will transmit a memory fragment. Every corpse destroyed will leave a contract echo. He does not tell the others. Our contract mage finally starts protecting himself from his own allies. Corvin detects the clause the moment Brannick's warrant enters the burial network. The bell vibrates. Black scripture appears across its surface. Our hero reads the structure. Then he changes the evening's plan. At sunset, 500 reclamation guards enter the Eastern Undertaker district. They kick open workshops. They overturn burial tables. They drag gray-robed workers into the street. Brannock rides at the front on an armored war beast. Mareth's stolen banner hangs beneath his spearhead. Citizens watch from locked windows. No one interferes. The guards reach the abandoned station above Locker 13. The front doors stand open. No smugglers wait inside. No necromancer appears. Only Tavian's replacement corpse remains on the central table. Brannick walks toward it. Othmar's hidden clause begins recording. The Lancer kicks the corpse onto the floor. Dig up everything. His guards tear through the station. They find ledgers, weapons, demon residue, payment marks from the Black Reed Syndicate. Every piece supports the story Corvin created. They also find a sealed tunnel descending toward the false command hall. Brannick smiles. He leads 100 guards below. The first chamber contains 20 undead workers. They do not fight effectively. The reclamation guard destroys them within minutes. The second chamber contains stolen caskets. The third contains a black altar and a map of the Eastern Market. Everything points toward a minor necromancer cell assisting the syndicate. Brannick reaches the false throne room. A masked corpse sits in the central chair. Black robes hide its ruined body. A replica bell hangs from one hand. The Lancer attacks before anyone can inspect it. His spear passes through the corpse's chest. The entire figure explodes into grave ash. Othmar's hidden contract records the strike. It also records the black powder released by the corpse. The powder enters every guard's armor. No one notices. Corvin prepared it from funeral furnace residue. It carries no curse, no poison, no visible magic. It is simply a burial marker. From now on, the Bell of Unfinished Death can identify every soldier present in the raid. More importantly, it can identify every storage room they enter afterward. Brannick destroys the fake altar. He burns the map. He claims victory. By nightfall, the capital hears that the Demon Necromancer's eastern base has fallen. Garen holds a second celebration inside the heroic hall. Isel blesses the captured caskets. Brannock drinks from a golden cup while his officers praise the assault. Othmar reviews the contract memories. The evidence looks perfect, too perfect. Still, the supposed necromancer base exists. The black reed marks are real. Undead defenders were present. A masked corpse occupied the command chair. The mage finds no direct contradiction. Garen raises his cup. To the end of the grave rat, Brannick laughs. He hid behind corpses and died like one. Isel's smile remains soft. Some servants mistake secrecy for importance. Othmar says nothing. Corvin hears every word through the burial dust clinging to their guards. The marked soldiers stand around the hall. They carry the dust into the armory, into the treasury, into the relic vault, into the private storage wing where the hero's party keeps unregistered demon materials. One officer even enters Garen's personal chamber. The bell maps every step. Black lines spread across Corvin's underground table. Room after room appears. Locks, guard rotations, contract nodes, hidden lifts. The entire heroic hall draws itself beneath his fingers. This is the arrogance Corvin has been waiting for. The party does not merely believe the enemy is weak, they believe he is dead. That belief changes their behavior. Isel removes protective seals from the harvested tissues. Brannick stores confiscated relics beside illegal weapons. Garen moves Marith's core fragments into his private vault. Othmar transfers the supply pack's original copy from his body to the contract archive. Every critical object enters a mapped location. Our demon necromancer directs the process from the darkness without touching a single door. Marith watches the map form. Then her attention fixes on one chamber beneath the heroic hall, the vault containing her stolen core fragments. Her half-crown vibrates again. The 7 demon kings inside the basilica barrier answer from across the underground. Black fire runs along Marith's restored arm. For 1 second, enormous spectral horns appear behind her, not 2. 7. The system flashes another warning, sovereign vessel resonance increasing. Evolution pending. Trigger requires reclaimed authority and willing royal dead. The image vanishes. Marith's body remains unchanged. Yet every undead soldier in the chamber has lowered its head. Even Drawl kneels. The demon general looks at Corvin. He moves the black marker representing her core fragments to the center of the map. Not yet. Soon. Near midnight, the hero's celebration reaches its loudest point. Garen stands on a table and promises to march against the last demon strongholds. Brannick boasts that no grave can hide from his guards. Isel announces that the basilica will begin processing seized remains by dawn. Othmar watches his companions drink. His doubt sharpens. He quietly activates the hidden clause in Brannick's warrant. The contract searches for unusual residue carried back from the false base. For one dangerous heartbeat, the burial dust glows. Far below, Corvin feels the scan. He does not remove the markers. That would reveal awareness. Instead, he opens one funeral knot. 9 resting demon souls release their infernal tithes at once. The energy floods the dust. Othmar's contract identifies it as harmless residue from destroyed undead. The mage receives exactly the result he expects. He leans back. The last warning inside him goes silent. Greed finally wins. At that same moment, a reclamation guard enters the heroic hall's lowest archive. Burial dust falls from his boot. One black grain lands on the original covenant of infernal recovery. The contract absorbs it. Nothing explodes. No alarm sounds. No one even looks down. Far beneath the capital, the final empty circle on Corvin's map fills with black light. Reversal conditions reach 100%. Our necromancer places his hand on the bell of unfinished death. Marith stands beside him with 7 spectral shadows burning behind her crown. Drawl lowers the western gate. 128 undead soldiers turn toward the basilica. The smallest grain of ash settles into the hero's contract. And Corvin knows the entire machine is finally ready. The trap begins with a single clerk stamping the wrong page. At dawn, the Sun Basilica activates the Covenant of Infernal Recovery across the capital. Golden scripture races through every cemetery. Every corpse station locks. Every confiscated demon remain becomes legal property of Garen Holt and his party. Then the smallest grain of burial ash wakes up inside the original contract. Black light replaces gold. The Covenant screams. See, the false ledger Corvin planted inside his torn pack does more than invent a smuggling route. It convinces Othmar to attach heroic ownership seals to every casket sent through Mourner's Gate. Those shipments feed the funeral furnace. Brannock's raid then carries Corvin's burial dust into the heroic hall, the treasury, the relic vault, and finally the original Covenant archive. The party builds every connection itself. All Corvin has to do is reverse what those connections mean. The bell of unfinished death rings beneath the capital. Every heroic ownership seal becomes a burial claim. Every confiscated demon corpse becomes unfinished dead. Every sacred storage chamber becomes part of Mourner's Gate. And every last stolen body wakes up. The first explosion tears through the basilica's eastern vault. A preserved demon heart rips free from its silver container. Black veins spread across the floor. 12 jars of infernal blood burst at once. The liquid rises into the shape of clawed soldiers. Inside the relic wing, severed demon hands crawl from their display cases. Harvested horns punch through marble walls. Regenerative tendons knot themselves around screaming priests. The sacred recovery program transforms into a completely brutal slaughterhouse. Ysel stands inside the processing hall when the first corpse opens its eyes. The saint has 6 surgeons surrounding a restrained demon prisoner. The creature is alive. Its chest has already been opened. Golden clamps hold the ribs apart. Ysel reaches toward the exposed core. Then every harvested organ behind her begins beating. 1 heart, 10 hearts, more than 50. The sound fills the chamber. Ysel turns. Glass containers shatter. Infernal organs drag themselves across the tables. They fuse with discarded bones. A massive fleshless hound forms in seconds. Its spine carries 7 stolen cores. The saint raises her halo. 6 healing petals release sacred light. The creature absorbs the first blast. The second burns away half its skull. The third finally destroys it. Ysel exhales. Then all 7 cores crawl from the ashes and enter the corpses of her surgeons. The dead men rise. Demonic horns tear through their foreheads. The saint's calm expression finally breaks. Across the heroic hall, Brannock Grieve receives a less subtle warning. His trophy armory explodes. Hundreds of stolen weapons burst through the doors. Spears fly without hands. Bone blades rip through the reclamation guard. Infernal armor seals around living soldiers and crushes them from the inside. Brannock grabs his own spear. Mareth's stolen banner burns beneath its blade. He drives the weapon into the floor. A massive shockwave destroys the nearest animated relics. "Formation!" he roars. His officers attempt to obey. The burial dust on their armor ignites. Black marks appear across 500 breastplates. Every soldier from the eastern raid becomes visible to the bell. The hidden covenant inside Brannock's warrant reverses. Instead of reporting what each guard touches, it transfers ownership of their confiscated equipment downward. Swords vanish from human hands. Shields turn against their bearers. Sacred armor becomes unbearably heavy. The reclamation guard falls into complete chaos. Brannock stares at the black symbols crawling over his command warrant. For the first time, the Lancer understands that the false necromancer base was never a victory. It was a delivery system. Othmar understands even faster. The contract mage stands inside the archive as black scripture devours his silver book. He tries to cancel the covenant of infernal recovery. The pages refuse. He tries to sever the Mourner's Gate clauses. Those clauses multiply. He tries to burn the original contract. The flames turn black and spread across his fingers. Every agreement he signed with the supposed Black Reed Syndicate now connects directly to the Bell of Unfinished Death. Every payment confirms willing participation. Every shipment confirms ownership. Every hidden clause confirms intent. The trap is legally perfect. That is what terrifies him. Othmar falls backward. No. The contract book opens by itself. Corvin's false handwriting appears across the first page. Locker 13. Third bell after midnight. Black burial caskets only. The exact bait from the torn pack. Othmar finally sees the entire machine. They did not discover Corvin's route. Corvin gave them one. Garen draws his divine sword inside the central hall. The weapon has never looked more magnificent. Golden fire stretches from the blade to the ceiling. The hero swings once. 30 animated demon remains vanish. The crowd of priests cheers, then cracks spread across the sword's guard. The same fracture Corvin noticed inside the cathedral widens. For days, Garen has fed stolen infernal essence into the weapon. The reversed covenant now pulls that essence back out. Black smoke leaks from the blade. The sword begins losing every authority it consumed. Garen grips it with both hands. Stop! The weapon does not listen. A vortex opens above the heroic hall. Stolen demon power pours downward through the burial network. The funeral furnace receives all of it. Far below, 128 undead soldiers ignite. Veteran armor thickens. Broken cores stabilize. Elite candidates roar without voices. Mareth's 7 spectral horns expand behind her. The demon general stands before the barrier of dead kings. Every sacred chain across the wall turns black. Corvin places one hand against the bell. He feels the basilica collapsing through the contract network. He also feels something unexpected. The 7 demon kings are waking, not their bodies. Their rage. The reversed covenant releases fragments of royal souls trapped inside the barrier. They do not accept burial yet. They push against Marith. 7 ancient wills strike her mind at once. The general drops to one knee. Cracks spread across her restored arm. Drawl steps forward. Marith lashes her chain around his throat and throws him backward. She refuses assistance. Corvin watches the sovereign resonance climb. Evolution remains pending. The trigger is close, not complete. Our necromancer does not force it. He turns toward Tavian. Open the dead channel. The Undertaker activates the communication mechanism hidden inside Locker 13. A black mirror appears over the funeral furnace. For 3 days, Othmar uses this channel to negotiate with the supposed buyer controlling Mourner's Gate. Now the mage calls it in desperation. His face fills the mirror. Blood runs from his burned fingers. The heroic hall shakes behind him. You control the burial tunnels. Corvin wears the same mask used during the purification battle. The bell distorts his voice. You believe the Blackreed Syndicate controlled them. Othmar's eyes narrow. He notices the correction. He does not have time to investigate it. The Covenant has been corrupted. That sounds expensive. The contract mage nearly chokes on his anger. Behind him, a demon spine tears through the archive door. Othmar seals it with 3 blue chains. We require suppression assistance. Corvin remains silent. Garen appears in the mirror. The hero shoves Othmar aside. His ceremonial crown is gone. Black blood covers his white cloak. Necromancer, listen carefully. Bring your creatures to the Basilica and contain this outbreak. Our guy looks at the man who threw him into the corpse pit. Garen does not recognize him. The irony is almost embarrassingly perfect. And the payment? You will be pardoned. Corvin tilts his head. The exact motion makes Marith's soul link pulse with cold amusement. A pardon for what? Garen's jaw tightens. For existing. There it is. Even while begging, the hero cannot stop looking down on him. Corvin closes the mirror. Othmar immediately reopens it. Wait. The mage speaks faster now. We will grant unrestricted access to the lower Basilica vaults. Corvin says nothing. 3 sovereign relics. Silence. Every unregistered demon remain in the heroic hall. Still nothing. Othmar's face becomes painfully pale. And temporary command authority over the reclamation guard. Corvin finally answers. Open the western gates. The mirror disappears. Garen turns on Othmar. You gave him command of our soldiers? Our soldiers are dying. Brannick enters the archive with half his armor missing. The Grave Rat is behind this. Othmar looks at him. Which Grave Rat? The Lancer freezes. Ysel arrives with only 2 healing petals remaining. Black scratches cover her face. The masked necromancer survived the eastern base. No, Othmar says. The eastern base was meant to be found. The 4 heroes stare at one another. Suspicion erupts immediately. Brannick accuses Othmar of compromising the route. Ysel accuses Brannick of triggering the trap with his raid. Othmar reminds Garen that he ordered the shipments increased. Garen draws his sword on all 3. The heroes' party reaches its greatest public power in the morning. Before noon, they are threatening to kill one another. Then the western gates open. Cold air enters the Basilica. Corvin arrives with an army. 128 undead demons march through the grand processional. Citizens flee into side streets. Priests abandon the marble steps. Black fire runs across veteran weapons. Drawl leads the western cohort with triple horns lowered. Marith walks beside Corvin. Her jagged half-crown burns above one eye. 7 enormous spectral shadows follow behind her. The hero's party watches from the shattered cathedral entrance. Garen sees fewer than 200 soldiers. His fear becomes calculation. The army is larger than expected. Not impossibly large. The hero still believes he can destroy it after the outbreak is contained. Othmar activates the temporary command contract. Blue scripture appears beneath Corvin's boots. The agreement grants the masked necromancer access to the Basilica. It also contains a hidden execution clause. Once the crisis ends, every sacred barrier will close around him. Corvin reads it instantly. He signs anyway. The western gates lock. 7 sun pillars rise around the plaza. Golden light floods the street. The remaining reclamation guards form ranks behind the undead. Then Othmar triggers the hidden clause early. The sacred barriers turn inward. Garen attacks. Apparently, the hero decides betrayal works better when repeated. His divine sword releases a massive golden arc. 20 undead soldiers disappear in a single strike. Brannick charges from the left. His spear smashes through Drawl's shield unit. Ysel raises 2 remaining healing petals. Sacred regeneration spreads across every living fighter. Othmar seals the ground with a suppression contract. The undead army becomes painfully slow. Corvin takes Garen's second strike across the chest. His burial armor splits. Blood hits the marble. Our necromancer slides backward. Marith intercepts Brannick. The Lancer's spear pierces her restored shoulder. He twists the weapon. Black fire erupts from the wound. You should have stayed dead, Brannick snarls. Marith's chain hand closes around the shaft. She cannot pull it free. Not yet. The sacred formation is too strong. The hero's party believes the ambush has worked. Garen smiles. Brannick laughs. Isel's halo begins restoring their injuries. Othmar reinforces the 7 pillars. Stage 1 belongs completely to them. Corvin allows it. He watches. The sun pillars do not create power. They circulate it. Isel's halo generates restoration. Othmar's contracts distribute it. Brannick's spear anchors it. Garen's sword converts it into destructive force. 4 people form one covenant engine, break one component, and the others compensate. Attack all 4 separately, and the system grows stronger. The mechanism resembles Captain Sorn's formation, only larger. Much larger. Exactly what Corvin hoped to find. The necromancer wipes blood from his mouth. Garen raises his sword for the final strike. Corvin rings the bell of unfinished death. Every grain of burial dust inside the heroic hall answers. Black circles spread through the plaza. Not 9 paces. Not one chamber. The entire basilica quarter falls beneath the field. Funeral dominion. The 7 sun pillars turn black. Othmar's eyes widen. He recognizes the stolen covenant structure from Captain Sorn's dead unit. Corvin tested it beneath Mourner's Gate. Now he applies it through the infrastructure the hero's party built for him. Every active blessing changes ownership. Isel's healing light leaves the heroes. It flows into the undead army. Broken demons rise. Shattered armor seals. Corvin's chest wound closes beneath stolen sacred fire. Brannick's strength drains through his spear. Drawl catches the next thrust with one hand. The Lancer finally looks afraid. A massive bone aura erupts across the plaza. Living soldiers lose speed. Their armor becomes heavier. Their hands shake. Corvin marks the hero's party with a grave curse. Black chains wrap around their shadows. Othmar tries to cancel the field. Authority theft strips the command from his contract book. Garen activates a divine acceleration buff. The bell steals it. Marith receives the speed instead. She vanishes. The demon general reappears behind Brannick. Her chain arm wraps around the stolen banner. One pull tears it from his spear. The Ashhorn insignia unfolds in black fire. Every undead soldier roars. Marith drives her restored fist into Brannick's spine. The Lancer crashes through 3 marble columns. Drawl leads the second wave. Veteran demons surround the reclamation guard. Bone curses slow every escape. Ghostly hands steal protective blessings directly from human armor. Ash soldiers crush the formation from both sides. Garen swings again. His divine arc emerges black. Funeral Dominion owns it now. Corvin redirects the attack upward. The hero's own power destroys 2 sun pillars. Othmar falls to his knees. No, that authority belongs to us. Our masked necromancer approaches him. It belongs to whoever controls the grave beneath it. The remaining pillars collapse. Stage 3 becomes an execution. Marith performs the decisive strike. She leaps onto the cathedral entrance. 7 spectral horns spread behind her. The dead kings beneath the basilica answer. Their chained skulls roar through the foundations. Marith pulls the stolen banner across her shoulders. For one instant, the ancient royal souls recognize a commander carrying the memory of a murdered legion. They stop resisting her. The evolution trigger unlocks. Not completed. Accepted. A black, crown-shaped mark burns across Marith's forehead. The entire heroic hall loses its final demon barrier. Thousands of buried remains wake beneath the building. Garen's face turns white. The floor breaks. Infernal hands drag every stolen relic underground. The heroes finally witness the true scale of Corvin's territory. Not 12 corpses, not one hidden cell, an entire empire beneath their feet. The bell tolls again. Souls rise across the battlefield. Dead reclamation guards release minor covenant authority. Destroyed infernal remains release hundreds of accumulated tithes. The funeral furnace absorbs everything. The 12th funeral knot forms. Then the 13th. The 14th follows in a wave of purple fire. Cohort capacity rises from 128 to 192. 41 common soldiers advance into veteran tier. 9 veterans reach elite candidate status. Drawl absorbs the shattered spearhead of a basilica commander and becomes a high lesser elite. Marith's command pressure crosses the threshold of greater elite. Her full evolution remains pending, but the black crown mark does not disappear. Corvin stands before the ruined cathedral. 170 surviving undead form ranks behind him. More awaken below. Garen struggles to rise. Isel crawls toward a broken healing pedal. Brannick cannot feel his legs. Othmar stares at the black contract book fused to his hands. The hero looks at the masked man. Fear finally replaces arrogance. Who are you? Corvin removes the burial mask. The plaza becomes completely silent. Garen recognizes him first. Ysel stops crawling. Brannick's mouth opens. Othmar looks back at every contract, every shipment, and every payment he authorized. Corvin Vale stands before them wearing the black scars of their fabricated accusation. The servant they threw into the corpse pit now commands every grave beneath the capital. Our demon necromancer looks at all four heroes. You asked for the only person capable of stopping this. The bell of unfinished death rings behind him. Corvin's army lowers its weapons. Here he is. The hero's divine sword enters Corvin's chest before the army can take a second step. Golden steel punches through burial armor. The blade exits between his shoulders. Garen twists it. Sacred fire erupts inside the wound. For one savage instant, the entire plaza turns white. Corvin's undead formation collapses. More than 40 demons hit the marble at once. Marith charges. Brannick's spear intercepts her through the stomach. The lancer lifts the demon general from the ground and hurls her into the cathedral wall. Stone explodes behind her. Draal roars without sound and rushes forward. Ysel opens all 6 petals of her halo. A sacred wave tears across the battlefield. The lesser elite loses one horn, then another. His left arm disintegrates. Othmar closes the final contract. Blue scripture rises around the basilica like a massive cage. The western gates vanish. Every underground passage seals. Every black circle of funeral dominion fractures beneath Corvin's boots. The heroes' party has not been defeated. They have only been embarrassed. And now they are using everything. Garen pulls his sword free. Corvin falls to one knee. Blood spreads across the white plaza. You should have stayed in the pit, the hero says. The sword's broken guard repairs itself with golden light. Above the cathedral, thousands of prayers gather into a burning sun. Citizens throughout the capital have been ordered to kneel. Priests broadcast Garen's name from every tower. Children repeat the heroic covenant. Soldiers strike their shields in rhythm. Every act of worship becomes power. See, the hero's party does not rely on personal mana anymore. The basilica has turned public faith into a battlefield engine. Othmar binds the names. Ysel purifies the energy. Brannick anchors it to the earth. Garen receives the final output. 4 criminals stand inside an entire kingdom's belief. Talk about a completely unfair second phase. Garen swings. A golden wave cuts through the plaza. 27 undead vanish. Not break, not burn. Vanish. Their burial marks disappear with them. Corvin feels each loss through the bell of unfinished death. The pain is not physical, it is worse. Every destroyed mark carries the final memory of a demon who trusted him to preserve it. The hero erases those memories in a single strike. Our necromancer's face remains calm. His grip on the bell tightens. A thin crack appears across the relic. Ysel raises one hand. Sacred chains descend around Marith. The demon general tears the first apart. The second wraps around her restored arm. The third catches her throat. The fourth drives her to the ground. Brannick walks toward her. Marith's stolen banner still hangs beneath his spearhead. You spent your life commanding corpses, he says. Now you can lie with them. He drives the spear through her shoulder. The sacred point enters the exact place Garen wounded her before. Her newly stabilized core stutters. The 7 spectral horns behind her disappear. Evolution resonance drops. Othmar notices. Her crown is incomplete. Garen smiles. Then tear it off. Draal throws himself between them. The lesser elite catches Brannick's next strike across his chest. Sacred steel splits his armor. The spear pins him to the cathedral steps. Brannick plants one boot against Draal's stomach and pushes harder. The demon refuses to fall. His remaining hand grips the shaft. Golden fire burns through every finger. Still, he holds it. Behind him, Marith rises. One chain at a time. Ysel closes her fist. The bindings tighten. Marith drops again. Corvin watches everything. The hero's party believes he is overwhelmed. They are correct. His army is reduced from 170 soldiers to fewer than 100. Funeral Dominion no longer controls the quarter. The bell is damaged. His chest wound refuses to close. The prayers above keep growing. Garen's next attack will erase what remains. Stage 1 belongs completely to the heroes, so Corvin stops attacking. He listens. Golden power enters through the cathedral towers. It descends into Othmar's contract book. The mage sorts the prayers by name. Ysel's halo removes fear, doubt, and hesitation. Brannick's spear transfers the purified faith into the basilica foundations. Garen's sword draws it upward. The cycle repeats. Tower, book, halo, spear, sword, again. Tower, book, halo, spear, sword. The party is not generating limitless power. They are circulating one enormous blessing faster than it can decay. Break one point, and another compensates. That much Corvin already expects. The real question is why the blessing remains stable. Living faith is chaotic. Thousands of frightened citizens should produce thousands of conflicting impulses. Yet the energy arrives perfectly uniform. Something beneath the basilica is standardizing it. Corvin touches the blood on the marble. The bell sends his awareness downward. Past the shattered vaults. Past the Demon King barrier. Past the funeral knots. Deeper, there, an entire crypt lies beneath the cathedral foundation. 10,000 skulls fill circular shelves. Every skull bears the same golden inscription, unnamed martyr. The basilica has erased their identities and assigned them one collective role. Othmar's contract routes every public prayer through those dead souls. The martyrs strip away individuality. They make belief obedient. The hero's power rests on people whose names were stolen. Corvin understands the mechanism. He also understands its weakness. Unnamed dead are still dead, and no one commands unfinished death better than him. Garen raises his sword. The artificial sun above the cathedral contracts. Every golden ray gathers along the blade. This ends now. Corvin stands. Sacred blood runs from his chest. The calm finally leaves his face. Not panic. Not grief. Fury. Cold. Deliberate. Completely awake. For 3 years, he watches the hero's party mutilate corpses. He records names because no one else cares. He buries enemies because the chosen heroes consider dignity a reward. Now Garen is erasing souls simply to make his next attack brighter. Something inside Corvin refuses to remain indifferent. The hero sees the change and mistakes it for fear. Look at you, Garen says. Still pretending the dead matter. Corvin lifts the cracked bell. They matter enough to remember. He rings it. The sound travels downward, not across the plaza, not through the tunnels. Through every stolen name beneath the basilica, 10,000 martyr skulls open their jaws. Golden inscriptions crack. Unnamed martyr becomes a question instead of a command. Who were they? The bell of unfinished death searches their final memories. A baker crushed beneath a demon siege. A knight executed after refusing to surrender refugees. An undertaker burned for recording illegal harvests. A healer murdered after discovering Isel's experiments. A contract clerk silenced by Othmar. A soldier stabbed by Brannock for questioning missing supplies. A priest killed after finding Garen's private vault. Names return. One after another. Edrin's Soul, Mara Fen, Hollis Creed, Von Arel. 10,000 identities rip free from the basilica's collective label. The prayer engine loses synchronization. Othmar's book begins shaking. What is happening? Corvin looks at him. Your witnesses remembered themselves. The artificial sun fractures. Golden power floods backward. Isel's halo overloads. 2 petals explode. Brannock's spear sinks into the marble. Garen's divine sword becomes unbearably heavy. Stage 2 ends. Our demon necromancer attacks. Funeral dominion spreads through the martyr crypt. The field climbs upward through every sacred foundation. Black light consumes the plaza. This time, Corvin does not steal the prayers. He releases them. Every citizen's fear returns to its original owner. Every priest's doubt returns. Every soldier's hesitation returns. The perfect blessing becomes human again. Garen's power drops by half. Marith breaks the first chain. Drawl tears Brannock's spear deeper through his own chest. The act drags the lancer closer. Then the lesser elite headbutts him. Drawl's final horn enters Brannock's cheek. The Imperial Lancer screams. Marith breaks the second chain. Corvin marks Isel with a grave curse. Black hands close around her halo. The Saint sends healing power toward Garen. Authority theft intercepts it. The energy enters Corvin's ruined chest. His wound seals around a fragment of the hero's sacred fire. Othmar writes an execution clause. Corvin sends the Covenant into a dead reclamation guard. The corpse rises. Blue scripture wraps around its bones. It obeys the contract literally. Execute the nearest traitor. The undead guard turns toward Othmar. The mage's face drains of color. Corvin moves through the battlefield. Garen swings. Our necromancer ducks beneath the golden arc. The blade cuts his shoulder. Corvin allows it. He grabs the cracked guard with one hand. Authority theft activates at direct contact. The sword resists. Garen pours more faith into it. That is the mistake. The stolen demon essence buried inside the weapon recognizes the bell. Marith's core fragments begin screaming. The hero looks down. Black cracks spread along the blade. Corvin pulls. 3 purple shards tear from the divine sword. They fly across the plaza. Marith catches the first inside her chest. Her core beats. She catches the second with her ashbone hand. The sacred chains around her arm disintegrate. The third fragment stops above Brannock's spear. Marith reaches for it. The stolen battle banner ignites. Brannock tries to hold on. Drawl clamps both hands around his wrist. Marith pulls. The banner tears free. The final core fragment enters her body. Black fire erupts from every wound. The demon general rises above the plaza, not jumps. Rises. The 7 spectral kings appear behind her. Their crowned skulls emerge through the cathedral foundation. They are still chained. They are still incomplete. Corvin opens the bell's burial channel. He does not command them. Marith uses Legion memory. She speaks their names, one by one. Names erased from human history. Names preserved only in the battlefield memories of dead demons. The first king lowers his skull, then the second. All 7 accept burial. Their chains shatter. Royal souls enter Marith's half-crown. The jagged horn above her eye expands across her forehead. 7 black points rise. A cloak of burning ash forms from the reclaimed battle banner. Her restored arm becomes flesh wrapped in sovereign armor. The old spear wound disappears. Both horns return, longer and darker than before. Then Marith opens her mouth. Her destroyed throat finally heals. One word crosses the battlefield. Kneel. Every demon corpse beneath the basilica answers. The plaza collapses. Thousands of infernal bones rise through the marble. A system announcement burns across Corvin's vision companion, evolution complete. Ashhorn General transcends into Ash-crowned Sovereign Marith Vaughn, royal trait acquired, dominion of the Remembered Legion. Every surviving undead receives a name. Every named soldier gains a fragment of royal authority. Every destroyed burial mark returns as a spectral warrior beneath Marith's cloak. Garen stares upward. For the first time, the prophesied hero looks completely insignificant. Marith descends. Brannick attacks her. She catches the spearhead between 2 fingers. The weapon snaps. Her other hand closes around his throat. She drives him into the ground hard enough to crater the plaza. Isel releases her remaining 4 petals. Marith's spectral legion absorbs the sacred blasts. Dral reaches the saint. His golden hands tear the halo from her back. Every glass petal falls dark. Othmar opens a teleportation contract. Corvin stamps 1 foot on the page. Funeral Dominion changes the destination. The portal opens directly into the martyr crypt. 10,000 awakened skulls stare back at the mage. Othmar cancels the spell with a scream. Garen is the last one standing. The hero burns everything remaining inside his covenant. His sword becomes a pillar of sunlight. He charges Corvin. Our necromancer does not evade. Marith moves to intercept. Corvin stops her with 1 raised hand. This strike belongs to him. Garen swings downward. Corvin rings the broken bell of unfinished death against the blade. Sacred steel meets black iron. The bell splits. The divine sword shatters with it. The explosion throws both men across the plaza. Corvin lands on 1 knee. Garen loses his right hand. The hero stares at the empty space beyond his wrist, then at the broken sword, then at the army surrounding him. His arrogance finally collapses. We can make another covenant, Garen says. Corvin approaches. You can stand beside me. The Basilica will accept whatever story we give them. Our guy keeps walking. You want recognition, do you not? No answer. Garen crawls backward. We can restore your title. Corvin stops in front of him. The hero's voice becomes desperate. Your name can still have value. That sentence almost makes the necromancer smile. Instead, Corvin repeats the exact terms Garen gave him inside the demon cathedral. Without this party, your name has no value. Your class has no value. Even your life has no value. Garen's face turns white. Corvin looks down at him. Those were your rules. The hero begins begging, not negotiating, begging. Isel joins him. Brannick tries to crawl despite his shattered spine. Othmar offers contracts, money, titles, and secrets. Corvin refuses all of them. Stage 3 ends with Marith planting the Ashhorn banner above the ruined basilica steps. Stage 4 begins below. The dead kings surrender their remaining infernal tithes. The funeral furnace absorbs the shattered heroic covenant. 116 fallen demons rise again as named spectral soldiers. Cohort capacity increases from 192 to 256. 38 veterans advance into elite candidate status. 9 elite candidates become lesser elites. Dral's ruined horns regrow as a black crown of 3 blades. He advances into true elite tier beneath Marith's sovereign command. Sacred resistance spreads across every soldier. Authority theft evolves enough to store 3 stolen blessings at once. The broken bell of unfinished death reforms around Corvin's forearm as a black execution bracer. The army does not cheer. It simply surrounds the 4 fallen heroes. Marith binds Garen with the chain that once held the demon kings. Dral locks Brannick inside his own broken armor. Spectral martyrs pin Ysel beneath the shattered pieces of her halo. Othmar's contract book melts around both hands and hardens into black shackles. The hero's party lies defeated before the same citizens who worshipped them that morning. Corvin stands above the ruined grand processional. For the first time, the capital sees his face clearly, not a servant. Not a corpse handler, not a forgotten 5th member, the demon necromancer who turns the basilica's dead against its chosen heroes. Our guy looks toward the 4 prisoners. The battle is finished. Their punishment has not even started. The first hero to face judgment loses his name before he loses his life. Garen Holt kneels on the ruined steps of the Sun Basilica. The chain once used to bind 7 demon kings wraps around his neck, wrists, and remaining hand. His golden crown lies crushed beneath Marith's boot. His divine sword is nothing more than glittering fragments across the plaza. And the citizens who screamed his name that morning now stare in absolute silence. Corvin stands before the 4 prisoners. The black execution bracer covers his right forearm. Every crack in the bell of unfinished death has become a thin silver line across the metal. Behind him, 256 undead soldiers hold the grand processional. Named spectral warriors line the rooftops. Drawl guards the shattered cathedral doors. Ash-crowned Sovereign Marith stands beside the judgment platform with the recovered Legion banner burning across her shoulders. No one mistakes her for a broken corpse anymore. This is a ruler standing over the institution that butchered her people. Tavian enters the plaza carrying the real casualty records. The Undertaker's gray hood hides most of his face. His supposedly dead body still lies inside the heroic hall. That makes his public appearance completely devastating. Othmar sees him first. The contract mage's lips part. No. Tavian places 7 ledgers on the altar. Corvin stored the originals inside a soul jar beneath Marith's cloak. Every page contains dates, mission numbers, corpse counts, missing cores, stolen organs, falsified reports, and the names of people silenced to preserve the fraud. The records do not rely on Corvin's testimony. Each page carries Othmar's verification marks. Each shipment carries Garen's authority. Each surgical order carries Isel's seal. Each confiscation carries Brannick's signature. The Heroes Party has already authenticated its own crimes. Talk about a perfect public execution. High Pontiff Caldras attempts to retreat through the cathedral. Drawl lowers one golden hand. The doors slam shut. Corvin does not place Caldras among the 4 prisoners. The old priest is useful alive. Someone must watch the institution change ownership. Tavian reads the first mission record aloud. A captured demon scout is listed as purified. The real entry records its heart being removed while it remains conscious. The second mission lists 19 destroyed corpses. Only 7 receive burial. The rest enter Garen's private vault. The third record identifies a human healer who discovers Isel's experiments. Her official cause of death is demonic contamination. Her actual cause of death is a sacred needle through the spine. The crowd begins moving, not fleeing. Turning. Citizens look toward the heroes' monuments. Soldiers look toward their commanders. Lower priests look toward the sealed cathedral doors. The basilica built its power by controlling one official version of every death. Corvin does not argue against that version. He opens the graves and lets the witnesses speak. The martyr crypt releases a low whisper. 10,000 return names travel through the plaza. The dead identify themselves. Families hear voices erased years ago. A widow recognizes her husband. An old soldier hears the captain who supposedly deserted. 3 undertakers hear colleagues condemned as corrupt. The heroic covenant fractures across the city. Golden statues lose their light. Victory banners fall from towers. Garen's face appears on every public mirror crystal. Then black scripture crosses through it. Heroic title revoked. Sacred authority disputed. Divine succession suspended. The system does not declare Corvin a hero. That title no longer matters. It recognizes control. Burial network authority transferred. Infernal remains placed under sovereign protection. Basilica corpse monopoly terminated. Mourner's Gate acknowledged as an autonomous domain. The capital's entire structure of power changes in less than 1 minute. Garen pulls against the royal chain. You cannot erase what I have done. Corvin looks at the monuments lining the avenue. Every statue depicts Garen standing over unnamed dead. No, our necromancer says. The records will preserve all of it. That answer frightens the hero more than erasure. Corvin takes Othmar's black contract book. The pages have fused around the mage's hands, but one command remains available. A title can be separated from its bearer when the original covenant fails. Corvin writes Garen Holt across the first page. Then he draws a line through hero. Golden light leaves the prisoner. The famous white cloak turns gray. The sacred mark on his forehead disappears. Every public monument cracks through the face. Garen starts begging again. He offers armies, vaults, foreign kingdoms, names of corrupt priests. Corvin waits until the hero runs out of breath. Then our guy repeats the words spoken inside the demon cathedral. Without this party, your name has no value. Your class has no value. Even your life has no value. Garen trembles. Corvin places one finger against the contract page. You were wrong about the first 2. The martyr crypt opens beneath the altar. A circular stairway descends into darkness. 10,000 skulls wait below. Each carries a restored name. Corvin assigns Garen one final class. Grave announcer, no divine power, no weapon, no authority, only a voice that cannot refuse the dead. The chain drags him toward the stairs. Garen claws at the marble. What happens when I finish reading? Corvin looks at the endless shelves. You reach the names from the cathedral. The hero understands. The demons his party dismantled are still waiting. Their names number in the thousands. And after that, the bell decides whether anything of you is worth keeping. Marith pulls the chain. Garen disappears into the martyr crypt. His first forced announcement echoes upward. Edrin Sol. The second follows. Mara Fen. The man who decided which dead deserved remembrance now exists only to preserve the names he erased. His screams continue between them. No one helps him. Isel Vane is brought forward next. The shattered remains of her halo orbit her like broken glass. Black spectral hands hold her arms. Even now, the saint attempts to control her expression. Her smile is weak. Her voice remains soft. Corvin, you are injured. Our boy looks at the sealed wound in his chest. I can still heal you. The crowd reacts with disgust. Isel hears it. For the first time, public hatred reaches the woman who built her life on appearing compassionate. She changes tactics immediately. The Basilica forced difficult choices upon all of us. Tavian opens another ledger. 43 names fill the page. Prisoners used to test regenerative extraction. 9 are human. 34 are demons. Isel personally records how much tissue can be removed before the subject dies. The saint looks away. Marith does not permit that. Her sovereign pressure forces Isel's head toward the records. Corvin kneels in front of her. You were never one of us. You were a shovel that learned to speak. The exact insult returns. Isel's face twitches. Our necromancer lifts one broken halo petal. You treated healing as proof that pain belonged to you. Black authority enters the glass. The petal lights up. So do the other 5. Isel smiles despite herself. She thinks her power is returning. Then every victim named in her records appears across the plaza as a spectral shadow. 43 wounds open at once. A missing arm forms across Isel's shoulder. A cut appears through her stomach. Her ribs separate. Sacred needles enter her spine. Her fingers blacken from forced core extraction. Every injury she inflicted transfers into her body. The halo immediately heals them. Then the wounds return. The petals heal them again. The cycle repeats. Pain, restoration. Pain, restoration. Isel screams. The healing never allows unconsciousness. It never allows death. It preserves her at the exact point where her victims begged her to stop. Corvin places the halo inside the glass recovery chamber she once used for living dissections. The doors seal. A system alert confirms the sentence regenerative covenant reassigned, release condition linked to victim consent. Not a single spectral victim accepts. The chamber descends into the former sacred recovery hall. Isel claws against the glass. Her body heals. Her wounds open. The saint who withdrew mercy to deepen suffering now receives limitless healing with no mercy attached. Brannock Grieve laughs when his turn arrives. The sound is forced. His spine remains shattered. His own armor holds him upright through black chains. You need soldiers, he says. Kill me and you waste the strongest lancer in the Empire. Drawl stands behind him. The elite demon holds the 2 halves of Brannock's sacred spear. Marith's recovered banner no longer touches them. Without the stolen cloth, the weapon looks ordinary. Corvin walks around the lancer. Brannock's ceremonial armor contains hundreds of tiny infernal fragments. Horn plates, bone rivets, core dust, trophy metal. The equipment is so heavy that 6 ordinary men cannot lift it. Brannock once carried it to display strength. Now Funeral Dominion changes its ownership. Every stolen fragment remembers its original grave. The armor turns toward the burial network. Brannock drops to both knees. The marble cracks. Corvin repeats the sentence the lancer speaks before the betrayal. He belongs behind us, carrying the things that matter. Brannock's face hardens. Our demon necromancer points toward the avenue. Hundreds of caskets wait from the Basilica steps to the Eastern Undertaker District. Each contains remains confiscated by the Reclamation Guard. Each body must return to its proper burial chamber. Brannock's broken armor fuses around his flesh. Chains attach the first 30 caskets to his back. The lancer roars. He attempts to rise. His ruined spine reconstructs with bone taken from his own trophies. The repair provides no relief. It only makes movement possible. Drawl places the broken spear in Brannock's hand, not as a weapon, as a walking staff. You cannot make me pull all of them, Brannock growls. Corvin glances toward the 500 marked guards who followed his orders. Surviving members of the Reclamation Guard step forward. Burial dust glows across their armor. They remove the insignia from their chests. Then they attach more chains. Brannock's own soldiers load every stolen relic behind him. The weight becomes massive. His arms shake. Corvin gives the sentence, return everything. The armor forces Brannock forward. One step, then another. Each grave releases its stolen claim only when the correct remains arrive. Every completed burial removes one fragment from Brannock's armor. Every false placement adds two. He cannot die while stolen property remains attached. He cannot stop while a single confiscated corpse remains displaced. The man who filled graves for power now drags the dead home beneath the eyes of the city. No songs follow him, only chains. Othmar Pell is the last. The contract mage watches the others disappear. His usual smile is gone. Black pages cover both arms to the elbow. Blue clauses crawl beneath his skin. Othmar does not beg like Garen. He does not pretend innocence like Uzel. He does not boast like Brannock. He offers information. Names of buyers, hidden accounts, foreign agents, private basilica contracts. Every word has value. Corvin already expects that. What do you want? Othmar asks. The final page. The mage stiffens. One blank sheet remains inside the contract book. Othmar saves it for emergencies. A blank covenant can create one binding agreement without outside authority. He planned to use it to steal Garen's title if the hero ever became weak. Corvin tears the page free. Othmar's composure finally breaks. You cannot write a valid contract without consent. Our guy looks at the black clauses fused into his hands. You taught the contract otherwise. The mage remembers Tavian's forced confession. He remembers the corruption charge burned into Corvin's skin. He remembers every agreement created through deception. The loophole belongs to him. Corvin repeats Othmar's exact words from the cathedral. Technically, he belongs nowhere. No guild will hire a man dismissed by the hero. The blank covenant writes itself. Othmar Pell possesses no recognized guild, no recognized nation, no recognized office, no recognized grave. Every institution bearing his contract seals rejects him at once. The mage's name vanishes from the Basilica archive. His citizenship disappears from the royal ledger. His ownership claims dissolve. His secret accounts close. Every doorway controlled by covenant magic locks against him. Then the contracts begin collecting their debts. The Black Reed Agreement takes his wealth. The Reclamation Warrant takes his rank. Tavian's Confession Covenant takes his voice. Corvin's false corruption charge takes his legal identity. The Heroic Covenant takes his protection. Othmar opens his mouth. No sound emerges. The contract book pulls him inward. His fingers flatten into blue writing. His arms become paragraphs. His body collapses into clauses. The last page absorbs his face. Only one line remains. Unclaimed signer. Corvin closes the book. No guild accepts Othmar. No nation records him. No grave receives him. The man who manufactured reality through contracts becomes a footnote inside, one he cannot alter. By nightfall, the Sun Basilica no longer belongs to the Heroic Covenant. The golden statues are removed. The Recovery Hall becomes a public archive. The Martyr Crypt becomes the Hall of Returned Names. Every burial record opens for inspection. Tavian takes control of the living undertakers. Drawl commands the western gates. Marith claims the infernal vaults and seals every demon remain beneath sovereign protection. Corvin establishes no church. He accepts no heroic title. He sits at the old registry desk beneath the cathedral, where generations of clerks once erased inconvenient names. The desk is ordinary wood. No bone throne, no ceremonial crown. Just ledgers, contracts, burial maps, and a black bell reforged around his arm. Above him, humans rebuild the plaza. Below him, the Remembered Legion guards the dead. Across the capital, every funeral gate bears a new law. No corpse may be harvested without recorded consent. No death may be registered without a name. No covenant may conceal ownership behind sacred authority. Breaking those laws does not lead to prison. It transfers jurisdiction directly to Mourner's Gate. That detail keeps the city remarkably honest. Marith enters the registry chamber. Her ash cloak fades behind her. The 7-point crown remains. She places Garen's final broken sword fragment on the desk. From far below, the former hero's voice continues reading names. It has become hoarse. The Covenant forces it onward. Corvin opens a new ledger. The first page carries the title of the old party. 4 names have been crossed out. His own name remains untouched. Not because he returns to them, because they never possessed the authority to erase it. Our demon necromancer closes the book. The bell of unfinished death gives one quiet ring. Across the capital, every grave answers. Corvin looks toward the sealed registry doors. His final words are cold enough to end every argument. Cause and effect never asks who claims to be a hero. It only returns what was recorded.